What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 124. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Adam Vale.
What up?
And Carlos, what happened? Once I hit start, I can't stop, son.
Yo, what up, everyone? I have a new setup, so I didn't get the questions ready, so I can put the timestamps on. So,
oh, hold on, I gotta send those to you. I'll just fill up time a little bit here. Okay, so let me fill you guys in on some things. So, no Brett action tonight because he's in the hospital, believe it or not. I don't think it's life-threatening. Again, I don't think it's life-threatening, but apparently, they changed his medication, and that fucked my man up, So it's pretty brutal. I'm not going to get into what medication he's taking, but it was serious enough where, he had to be hospitalized. Like, this is actually, I think, the second time now. These doctors are fucking stupid. The dude takes his medication and he gets fucked up, and he's like, I think it's the medication. Like, no, that's impossible. That cannot happen. He takes it again. He gets fucked up again. Come on, man. Bunch of idiots. So, hopefully he'll be all right. Manny will be here later. He went to go see King Kong, but he went to go see it with his Pennsylvania crew. I guess they had to go at a specific time. That's why he's running late as shit, And as for tonight's show, we got so many questions that I had to take out questions. Like, we only got 3 of these types, so I took out all the pop culture questions. Just no time. Too much shit to cover tonight. So without further ado, let's get into so obviously apologies to Roman Ronan, who asked us nothing but pop culture questions, but he does say he will ask his video game questions next week because he hasn't played shit in 4 months. Apparently he's getting back into gaming. That's crazy. He's been missing out, man. Strong. Carlos, you got the questions now, man?
Yeah, we're all good.
All right, yeah, I gave you the short versions. All right, let's get into it. First up, from my man Jeffrey Wilson, who I will always be eternal to because of him. I got the geek.com gig, so always shout out to Jeffrey. That's my dude right there. All right, so his question is, this is a good one too. Why do so many online gaming discussions treat games like pure product instead of discussing their artistic merits? Okay, basically he's talking, and we're going to talk about this later on, the whole thing with Jim Sterling. Basically, gamers seem to want games to be treated as art, but then when the reviews come to why aren't you treating it, like a product? Why are you talking about all this other extra shit? So what do you guys think about that?
Because these guys will never be happy. See, when you judge something as a piece of art, right? Art is subjective. It reaches it touches you in a way like it could either be sublime or a moving experience or whatever, but you can't quantify that, So with these fanboys, it's all about a pissing contest, right? It's like, that's why Microsoft's making up stats like gamer score and then hours of engagement. Anything that they can quantify that we have more of this than the other guy, right? And that's what it becomes all about. And it's stupid, right? Because you're missing out on all this great stuff. Like, I look at how beautiful Horizon is. Like, nope, anybody talking about this shit? Everybody's worried about, look at NPDs, man. I outsold you. Yeah.
I outsold you. But you know what? It's almost like the sport team. It was like, yo, man, we lost. Yo, you weren't on that team. You know what I mean? It was like, you didn't lose shit. But it's when you back something. It happens in every genre. It happens everywhere. People just, they get hooked on something and like, that's it. That's what they're gonna back. That's what they're gonna support. They're gonna champion. They don't give a shit, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, and let's be honest. Most gamers aren't that sophisticated to start
with. Let's just be honest.
So yeah, we have let's say let's do the example Chris was saying. We have Horizon. There's a few camps. There's a camp of people who are saying Horizon's the greatest thing ever. It's better than anything that ever come out, and that's the only reason they give. It's because it's the graphics and stuff like that. Then they have the camp that say, no, well, it's not as good as Zelda. Then you have the camp that's, it's not as good as The Witcher 3, and then you don't go anywhere with just talking about that kind of stuff. People don't critique games anymore. Like, they don't go over the ins and outs of video games and what makes video games great. They just take their subjective thoughts and what they think they like about the game and then just perpetuate bullshit,
Yeah, it's different because obviously when games were first starting out, right, or at least the first I guess the prehistoric era of video game journalism, it was product reviews, right? Score, you break everything down. Remember, you used to have things called Fun Factor. You used to have all that type of shit.
Yeah.
But it's evolved now, right? Now it's more critical because gaming is becoming more of a real art form, right? Like it pretty much is an art form. So now you're getting critiques. We may not agree with some of these critiques. Like, for example, I always disagree when people go, oh, this game is good, but I didn't like the way that girl's ass in the game looked. 6 out of 10. Like, to me, that's kind of stupid. But at the same time, if you're going to get critical, you have to accept that sort of stuff too. You know what I mean? Even though I don't like it too much. Like, yes, I'm going to say now, author guys from Polygon, he gave Bayonetta 2, like he docked some points because he thought Bayonetta was being overly sexualized.
Bayonetta.
I thought that was stupid, but at the same time, if you're gonna treat games like art, you have to allow for that sort of talk too. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's like gamers want one thing and then they also want the other. They're mutually exclusive. You can't have like it's either a product or it's art. It can't be both. That's just how it is, you know. But yeah, it always develops that because, like Carlos said, I'm glad you said it, but I'm gonna just say it, a lot of gamers are fucking stupid. They're just not sophisticated enough. And I'm not saying this to be all highfalutin. I'm talking about, let's just be honest, most gamers are fucking dumb, like in that sense. Like, you know, they don't really try to look too deep into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, all you guys listening to us, you guys look into that shit, you know, but these Call of Duty, Madden guys, they're not looking beyond the surface, you know, they're looking for anything deep like that. But a lot of that shit, you know, perpetuates into like regular gamers too, because like Chris said, it's a pissing contest. Hey, my game got a 9, yours got an 8, your game fucking sucks. You know, it's that dick measuring bullshit too that's in there, which I can't fucking stand, but it's there regardless. But so I don't really see this as ending because, you know, it's just how it is. And the thing is, games could be easily broken down more than like a movie. You know what I mean? On a technical level, you can't really do that with movies too much. You know, when you see a movie review, you rarely talk about like, you know, the filming process or any of that other bullshit. You know, like, oh yeah, in this cinema it was this other aspect. You don't really talk about that shit. You talk about the actual like movie itself. You know, with gaming, you talk about like the story stuff always seems to come last. You know. Especially if it's a non-story based game. But yeah, it's pretty interesting when you see it. But I never really, it doesn't bother me too much. But sometimes I'm like, come on, guys, really? What the fuck? This is why people put so much credence on fucking review scores, you know? Because again, that dick measuring shit, and people are just too dependent on it, you know? It's bullshit.
Yeah, and it's also, you have the factor of the console wars.
Yeah.
There's people who are going to hate stuff just because it's not in the console that they don't own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like these dudes saying that they don't have that exclusives are anti-consumer, that type of shit. No, let's pull back. What do you actually mean by that? You're trying to tell me you're mad that console has games your console doesn't have. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is an exclusive on HBO. You know what I mean?
That's anti-consumer, Adam. According to these guys, it's anti-consumer.
Oh my god.
HBO is forcing you to get a subscription to watch their show. They're forcing you. They're coming to your house with a fucking gun.
It's just they made.
No, they're forcing you, Adam. Stop lying. They're coming to your house. I'm telling you, bro. They're forcing you, man. They're gonna hold your whole family hostage. Son, you want us not to kill your wife? You better pay for this HBO.
HBO, why are you doing me wrong?
You know, fucking fanboys, man. All right, anything else you guys want to add to this? Man, let me just go over this, slap you guys real quick. You know, these fucking idiots. But yeah, it's just interesting. Like, guys, if you want games to be accepted as art, then you have to accept those sort of critiques. If you want it to be products, then you can't say the shit is art. You can't have both. You know, simple as that. All right, let's move on here. Mr. Gary Swabe, some questions this week. His first, I'm going to stop right. I can't do that fucking accent for too long. All right, he goes, if an Oscar baiting film about the development of No Man's Sky was made, who would you cast as Sean Murray? He goes, this film would be like The Social Network or the C. Jobs movie.
Oh,
would that be movies? Yeah, so who would you cast as Sean Murray? You know what? The first thing I thought of, like, what's his face? The dude who plays Ant-Man. Give him a beard and let him star.
Oh, Paul Rudd.
Yeah. You know, he's a clown like Sean Murray, right?
Yeah, I was like trying to think about this. I'm like, yo, if this is Oscar baiting, put Ryan Gosling in there, man.
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah, put him
Motherfucker
in
could be
it.
he could be driver and La La Land. Yo, he could be Sean Murray.
Yo, you're right. Yeah, because the key thing is Oscar baiting. Yeah,
Yeah.
get Ryan.
Yo, he's a hot. He's a hot, the hot actor now. Yo, get
Yep.
him. Put a little beer on him. He can just say yes to everything. So this will have fleets. Yes.
Yeah.
Very easy role.
So Carlos, what about you? Who would you cast as Sean Murray?
So I was thinking Eddie Redmayne, maybe. He's pretty Oscar baity-ish right now. He's been like nominated like 2 of the last 3 years, and he like won like 2 years ago, I think. And yeah, I think they might be around the same age, like in their 30s. I don't know how old Sean Murray is. I've never actually even seen Sean Murray.
Oh shit.
But I'm assuming it's just a white guy.
Yeah, white guy, black hair, beard.
Yeah, so
Jason Statham.
It'll be an action movie.
Boy. He could do everything, man. That guy can't go wrong.
Yeah.
He could do comedy. He could do Crank, whatever the was. That was awesome. That movie,
crazy.
Well, yeah, like it's an action movie. He has to maneuver all through those questions, you know.
Yep.
That shit is funny, man. By the way, shout out to Titanfall Princess who's joining us. She's like, I'm glad I made it to Throwdown. And my man Dip Dop and Dippity, he goes, Journey was definitely art. Damn right it was.
Yeah, it was.
You know,
and The Last of Us. Come on now.
Yeah, that you know what? If video games had Oscars, that would win it. That was an Oscar bait kind of like
awards.
Yeah, it really was
Oscar bait of video gaming, you know. All right, to Adam or anyone who cares to answer, what is the best wrestling game of all time?
Shit. Oh my god.
Yo, what was that one wrestling game?
We would have to go back to the N64.
WCW
versus NWO.
No Mercy.
Yeah, No Mercy. Yeah, I was
No
going to
Mercy
say
was the ultimate. I mean, that's what built the grappling system that we play today.
Yeah,
you know, what I mean, the Fire Pro series, which is coming back, right? Fire Pro coming to PS4 and PC. Xbox guys don't hate. Not my choice. That's what they said.
Motherfuckers.
They said Steam. I think it's already out on Steam, at least for pre-alpha or something you could play. But then it said PS4. And everybody who knows Fire Pro Wrestling, I mean, they don't give a shit about copyrights. I mean, they put everything. Mask. You want Kane's mask? Kane's mask is in it. It's not on a guy named Kane. You make him, but his mask is there. All their moves are there. You have barbed wire matches, exploding cage matches. That's crazy
shit.
But yeah. So, No Mercy was the best. That's a classic. After that, of course, Fire Pro. After that, I would say probably another great one was the WWE 2K16. That was great. That was one before the one that just came out. You know, I love the showcase mode. You know, for those that know, showcase was like, you know, it replay a lot of the old classic matches. This one was Steve Austin. He had a lot of his old matches. They had almost all the main wrestlers that you would want. It just felt complete. 2017, they got rid of showcase. You know, and this is the one with Brock on it. And they're like, oh, well, people don't want that, and we want to add more to the universe mode, which is whack still because it's just like the old school text-based stuff, and you really don't have much control over it. It's not engaging. I'd rather have the showcase mode. I'm sorry. Just do it. And people think, oh, well, you can't keep going back to the old stuff. No, forget the old stuff. Do new shit. You know what I mean? It's like do a showcase and make your own story up. Make something up. You know, get creative. They're not creative. They just keep, you know, hashing out with new wrestlers and new moves. That's it. It's the same damn match types. You know, so they're not doing much with it. So that's it. That's my thing. So 2016 for the later stuff. No Mercy, the original one. That's the classic, and the Fire Pro series.
Yeah, like I'm not really like a wrestling game type of guy, but I used to love playing pro wrestling on NES back in the day.
That was good.
That shit.
Good. Tecmo. They had Tecmo Pro Wrestling. That was Starman.
Yes, man.
Starman.
Remember that shit? Yo, Tecmo World Wrestling was my shit though, man.
It was an indie wrestler named Starman, and he had that mask on. Gotta look him up.
Yeah, Carlos, what about you, man?
Yeah, I'm not really much of a wrestling fan when it comes to the video games, but I used to play the shit out of WCW versus NWO.
Yeah, it's funny because Final Stage Boss said that was his favorite.
Oh
yeah, God. Like I used to get was it Ultimate Warrior?
Yeah.
And, like just like I think he was the cheapest character, right? I don't know if he was, but like he just did I think he did flips or something. I think that's what I
No,
remember.
Ultimate Warrior did no flip. He did a power lift over his head, and then he dropped you, and then he ran, and then he just like jumped on you.
Who did the flips then? There's one.
Flips.
Yeah, like a ninja suit or something. I forgot.
A ninja suit?
Glacier.
Huh.
WCW had a guy named Glacier who did some stuff, but trying to think who else. What else did they have? A ninja suit.
Yeah, if Manny was here, he'd probably have a few that he played. He was a big wrestling guy too.
Oh man, Manny and I mean, we used to do the SmackDown versus Raw and do the create mode, and just spend hours just creating.
Making wrestlers, yeah.
Yeah, making wrestlers. You know, back in the day, you know, now you can just go on in the community and download, take somebody else's shit that they spent hours creating. But back in the day, we didn't have that. We went to a website and you saw all the schematics, and then you just manually went in, put one layer on top of another layer to make a different shade of color. We spent hours on that shit. I remember one time I went over to his house, and it was like 8 in the morning. I left my house real early to get there. Right. And when we made just one fucking guy, it was already 12 in the afternoon. We're like, all right, let's go get some pizza.
Damn,
we spent hours just creating one damn guy. We're like, when we come back, we'll make you a guy.
That's funny. All right. Moving on here. Young Bastard. All right. I kind of switched the order of his questions just because his other question kind of ties into another question from another guy, but his quote unquote first one is, and Chris, I'm looking at you right now.
Yeah.
What else can they do with the Dark Souls series to keep it fresh?
Oh, well, was he implying Dark Souls is not winning anymore?
Yeah, well, I don't know, because it's a weird question because, like, Dark Souls is done, right?
Yeah,
I
mean, but it's got Ring City coming out the end of this month.
Yeah, so you know what? Let me ask it like this: if they decide we're gonna make another Dark Souls game, what can they do to, refresh the formula?
Co-op, right?
What happened? Co-op? They have co-op already.
They have the
they
summon.
already have co-op. Yeah.
And
does this include Bloodborne and stuff like that?
Neo said that it was going to have, right from the get-go, that it was going to have co-op, and he said it made it too easy. Then make the game even harder. That's it. Or just like upscale it once somebody jumps in, like they do in other damn games.
The Dark Souls does that when
it does
that, summon. Yeah, if you summon one player, and actually boss fights get way harder. They scale huge. If you have two guys helping you and you summon an NPC, that boss gets like 300-something% health.
Yeah, it's crazy. Remember that we were playing Bloodborne, which is a Dark Souls game, basically. It was me, Chris, and Riku, right? We were getting fucked up by this one dude, man. Like I almost could beat him on my own, but I was like, let me get these dudes to help me out. Oh my fucking God, that fight took us like an hour. That one dude with that I forgot what his fucking name was. He was like I don't know what the fuck he was, but he was crazy,
Yeah. I would think that if you were to refresh, now these are features. This is like a wish list that I've always had.
Yeah. Do it.
The bell system in Bloodborne, I think, worked better for summonings than Dark Souls. So if you could integrate something like that, but guys, like people have friends lists. I should be able to just pull Tony in or someone in my game automatically. Like we should be able.
Yes.
So if you did something like that, that would be great for co-op because most likely we're going to play with friends. If you have to summon strangers, you're desperate, right? That's usually like shit. Nobody's on. I gotta find somebody to play with, and you know how that works out.
Right.
So but that's like a wish list feature, In terms of story itself, like if they came out with Dark Souls 4 and there were big castles and giant monsters and stuff, I would jump right back in there. I don't think they need to do much to refresh Dark Souls. Like they could build another mystery with the story. They can make it just as confusing with the lore, and we still don't know anything because we don't understand the fucking story anymore. So they could do that and people would still be happy,
Yeah. By the way, my man Vishal, he goes Dark Souls in a modern setting. I don't know if that could work, man, because it's all very dependent on that fantasy, setting they have,
Yeah, exactly. So I think a lot of it works, but little tweaks, little features to make co-op a little better. And that idea they had with the arena that they added in the last DLC, stick that in somewhere that we could go to a place and have PvP. Like you don't have to do this weird thing with the bonfire and all that shit. Just so you could go somewhere and set that shit up. That would really add something to the game that would refresh it.
What about Like every time, for example, every time you beat a boss, your friends wouldn't disappear. Like,
oh yeah, no, yeah, that's what consistent co-op. Like, yeah, that thing with your friends disappear after the one boss and you got to resummon them. No, it should be like kind of like D&D. You're in the party, you're in it for the long haul until you decide to go home.
right.
So yeah, do that. Like that would be huge. That's another wish list thing, and I appreciate you mentioning that because I've thought of that. Like, yo, I want my buddy to hang out. I'm in this fucking dungeon. Yo, I need him for the whole dungeon. I need help, man.
Yes, man. I'm the same way, man. Yo, but I was thinking, like, imagine this fucking development team like makes a Harry Potter game. That should be freaking sick.
Oh my god.
Well, that development team can make a lot of stuff. Like Chris and I have been saying, these motherfuckers need to make a Castlevania game.
Yes.
That'd be insane.
Oh my god, that'd be so good.
Because that's when like Bloodborne really clicked with me. I'm like, oh my fucking god, this is the Castlevania game I've wanted for years.
It's the 3D Castlevania game.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking amazing, you know? All right, moving on here. Okay, his next question is if fanboys didn't exist, what do you think petty fuckboy gamers would be arguing about instead?
Oh, shit.
Hockey. I don't know.
Yeah, like, okay, like if you're a gamer but you're not a fanboy, what would you be actually, you know what you'd be arguing about? The artistic merits of video games.
Yeah.
That's what you'd be arguing. You'd be arguing about actual shit that's substantive instead of bullshit. That's what you'd be arguing about, you know?
Exactly.
You know, like, could you imagine that? Like, okay, why is Sonic 2 better than Super Mario Brothers 3? And they go into like a technical breakdown, and by the end of it, you're like, fuck, I may not agree with you, but damn, could you imagine those type of conversations, you know?
Yeah, because like when fanboys go at it, it's usually like, oh, something from an Xbox versus something from PlayStation. So they don't even critique the games. They just go straight to, oh, your console's shit. It just has trophies are better than achievements. Xbox Live is better than PSN. So it's like there's no critical thought going into those arguments. So they might actually have to go into detail why their game actually sucks.
Yeah, like could you imagine if somebody goes like, instead of going, Breath of the Wild is better than Horizon because it's Nintendo and fuck Sony. Instead of that, they go into a real technical breakdown of why. Like that would be insane, you know? But that's not going to happen. So yeah, that's my answer. They would argue about substantive shit, but they're not going to do that because they're fanboys and they're fuck boys.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, idiots, man. All right. And Chris and I have to deal with these idiots too much lately, especially because of the Nintendo Switch. You know, that shit came out. Fanboys really came out the woodwork. All right.
No, you heard Jim Strong's getting death threats, man.
Oh yeah. We got a question about that. We'll save that for later. We got a question about that.
Yeah. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, my man, Swedish gamer dad. All right. He goes, what's your take on the cult-like devotion some gamers have for Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo? And he also asked this question, but we're going to tie it all together. He goes, people are actually writing about, quote unquote, not letting the traders back, etc. Can this mentality be stopped, or is it too late for the extreme vocal minority? So yeah, we've talked about this many times. Like it's a bunch of things, right? First of all, you know, we're humans, right? We're tribal by nature, right? This is an extension of that. It's like you have your football team, you have your whatever, you know, now you have your favorite console maker, right? So that's what starts it, right? The problem is that now people have been putting their self-worth into these consoles, their self-worth into games, right? So when you say Horizon sucks, you're not saying, oh, I don't like the game. You're saying you suck. You're fucking trash, right? That's how people are taking it now. So that's what's led to all this. Like people like have, I'm just going to be honest, they have like no self-esteem in themselves. They put all their life into games or whatever. Like, okay, obviously all of us are here because we love fucking video games. It's a big chunk of our lives. We call ourselves gamers, but it's not everything. But to these guys, it is everything. It is their identity. So when you attack their favorite game, their favorite company, you're not attacking that company, that arbitrary company. You're attacking them personally, and that's what leads us. So this tribal mentality and lack of, you know, like any kind of self-worth. You know, it's craziness.
Yeah, and it's all exacerbated by the internet.
Yeah, exactly. Because think about it like this: back in the day, you would think some crazy thoughts, right? Some loon would think some shit. he would tell this to people and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, now he finds a group of people that agree with him. This is how people like Crap Gamer come up. He finds people that are like-minded, you know, him and Damien and others, Inc. All these dudes get together, you know. It wouldn't be like that before. Without the internet, none of these guys would know that each other existed. But now they know each other and they feel emboldened by that. Like, yo, there's other guys like that. We got an army here. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's like a farmersonly.com for fanboys.
Yeah.
But confirmation bias has become a huge problem, like way more so than it ever was. You know,
Yeah.
Where people need to seek out like-minded views, and regardless of facts, regardless of anything, they just want to hear what makes them feel good.
Yeah.
And that I mean, we could have a whole other discussion on the psychology of parenting today. And
yeah, we talked about that the other day. You know, it's like all that shit that happened in the 90s, it bore fruit. All that, racing these sissy kids and stuff. Look what happened.
Yeah, exactly. So besides the snowflakes and all that stuff, like and almost they treat. I realized something, like when I argue with some of these Nintendo fans, like they treat their console, their system, and the people work on it, and how I see how some of these like BGST and Xbox talk to like Mike Ybarra and whatever.
Yeah,
it's kind of like talking to a surrogate father.
Yeah, right.
You know, where it's like, man, I don't know where your parenting failed you or something, but now you're looking up to these guys like they're your family. You know, it's like, it's not some dude running a company who happens to sell something you enjoy. Now it's like that you're talking about my father, man, you know? And then they get like, that's why they get so riled up. And like you said, they put all their self-worth in their system, meaning that if you have criticism of it, you have criticism of them, because that means they made a bad choice and they can't accept it. The cognitive dissonance, they can't get around it.
Yeah.
So then they lash out, right?
Exactly. And I do need to note, this isn't just a problem with gaming these days. This is a problem with fucking everything now. This is why politics has become even crazier than before. You know, now you're attacking them personally too. It all extends to every kind of fandom, every kind of ideology. It's just exacerbated to the extreme now. You know, now if a difference of opinion isn't a difference of opinion anymore. It's a personal attack.
Yeah.
And
that's society too. That's not just in gaming. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's all over the place now. Like it's just gotten bad. The internet, like I've always said, the internet is both the greatest and the worst thing that's ever happened to mankind. You know, it's man. All right. Anything else you guys want to say about that?
No. I mean, I don't know how many times I can see on Twitter, guys. You're basically worshiping a piece of plastic with circuit boards in it that play video games. Yeah. Just relax. You enjoy it. You enjoy it. If somebody has a criticism, if you don't like it, that's fine. You don't like the show, change the channel. That's it. You don't need to flip out.
You know? Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on. I'm going to inject a quick question because we're actually running through. I guess this is only 4 of us and we don't talk too much and we're running through these pretty fast. I want to, Carlos, get ready. I'm going to inject something new in here right now. So this is from Sunny Rivers. He goes, a game that is open world like Horizon, theatrical like Uncharted. When you get in a car, it is like Gran Turismo / Drive Club. And when you get into a fight, it's like Tekken, the best of all worlds. What are your thoughts about a game like that?
Send that over to Yu Suzuki and be like, yo, I don't know how far you're into Shenmue 3, but we have some ideas.
He basically just described Shenmue without the fucking driving.
Yeah. That's what I'm like, yo. Yeah. It's like, yo, Mr. Suzuki, man, you forgot the Gran Turismo, man. Add that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he just, because, oh, by the way, and Yakuza, Shenmue has Virtua Fighter fighting controls, which are superior to Tekken. I said it. You know, so yeah, it's like you already have it. Shenmue already has all these qualities. It has that big open world, like, you know, that's beautiful, like Horizon. You know, the fighting is there, the story is there, just no driving. So yeah, yo, Yu Suzuki, man, you know, Sega Rally, toss that shit in there, bro. You made that shit. Oh man. All right. What do you guys think about a game like that?
It would take a long ass time to develop. I know that much.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's obviously going to come out on the Scorpio. So, Well, just it's got to. I mean, it's only fitting that something that powerful, that massive, with cojones like that, can actually make and produce a game like that. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. You got me hyped, buddy. That's it. It's happening.
All right, let me get hold on, call. So I'm going to send you the shorter version of that. I don't know how to distill that to a short little thing, so I just threw that as that. All right, moving on here. Mr. Actually, no. Oh, by the way, Swedish Gamer Dad, he goes, I want to express my gratitude for this podcast. I'm relatively new, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Let me tell you about this dude, right? Because he lives in Sweden, obviously, right? So he gets up around like 7 a.m. to go take his kids to school and stuff, right? But it's like, to me, it's like 3 or 4 a.m. or something like that. It's probably later for him. So he's sending me a bunch of questions. I'm already sleeping, so I got to look at him the next day. It's hilarious, but definitely appreciate the support, bro. All right, let's move on here. Mr. Him Deal. He's back, people. All right. He wants to know, what do we think about a game called Yonder, the Cloud Catcher? He goes, he's intrigued. It seems like this is like a Legend of Zelda game, but for Xbox and PlayStation. Manny probably knows about this fucking game because he knows about all these little things.
I watched the trailer before the show, and I mean, the environments and stuff look a lot like Breath of the Wild. I don't know if I call it Zelda because I didn't see much combat in there.
Yeah,
it looks like a lot of exploration and stuff, but the aesthetic. I mean, I know these guys have been working on it for years, so it's not like they could look over Miyamoto's shoulder and go, "Yo, look at that." Make that shit, But they got it real close. They got it real close. I'm like, yo, that almost looks like the new Hyrule, man.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Like, we got to see what type of game it is. It comes out in July. We'll see, but it looks interesting.
Yeah, I'm willing to check it out. But you're right. If you want to be like a Zelda game, you need that combat.
Yeah, you need that combat. You need some kind of crazy deep lore going on.
Yeah,
not like Dark Souls deep. Zelda's in its whole other level of deep.
Let me drop another quick question in here for Mr. Dipdop Dupity. How about a PS Team racing game with Mount Olympus from God of War as a track? Carlos, don't add that question. We could answer it though. Sure, why not?
Make it so number one.
Yeah. I don't know. Another kart game like Mario Kart?
I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't think Sony should make those type of games because look at
PlayStation All-Stars.
That was fucking terrible. Don't do that. Don't
Dodgers.
What was that racing game that they made? Was it from the Little Big Planet people? Media Molecule?
Fuck. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forgot the name.
Some Mod Nation Racers.
Mod Nation Racers.
Yeah. There you go. Play that.
You can put that shit in there.
Yeah, you can put it in there. You can make that shit. All right. So yeah. Anybody else have any thoughts on Yonder, the Cloud Catcher?
Nope.
Hey, Carlos, what about you, Ben?
I haven't seen the video. I have no idea what that is.
The aesthetic looks like Zelda. I see how he can make that connection, but I don't know about anything else. Like, it looks like kids in an adventure game. I didn't see a lot of combat, so the other stuff I don't know about.
I mean, it looks like it, but yeah, what about the actual gameplay? Does it have dungeons and shit? That's what I want to know. All right. Next up here, by the way, all his questions are basically the same. He's just asking us what we think about certain games. So he goes, do you have any additional thoughts about Hellblade? I had forgotten about this game, but I am still very interested in checking it out. I wish Manny was here because he's a big fan of this. Ninja Theory, baby. I'm fucking pumped. That's all. Ninja Theory, they could do no wrong in my eyes. So I'm ready for this shit. What's interesting about Hellblade is it's actually an independent game now because they're not, doing this for Sony or Microsoft or any big publisher. They're going to come out on those systems, obviously, but it's them doing it on their own. And their whole thing is they want to make a indie game that has the production value of a AAA game. And these guys have done nothing but AAA games. You have the DMC, Enslaved, fucking
Enslaved is a great band.
Huh? Slaves.
Yeah, I think they're from Sweden.
Yeah, they are. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of their first game on PlayStation. Had Nariko in it. The girl with the red hair. She kind of
Heavenly Sword.
Heavenly. These guys pump out good games, so I'm ready for this thing.
Yeah.
It looks like a cool combat game, but at the same time, it said it's gonna explore like psychological shit to it. I'm fucking ready. I don't know when it's gonna come out, but I'm ready for that shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
like you had me at Ninja Theory. You had me at Ninja Theory, man. You know?
I don't know if you've seen the videos, but the art style is kind of like unique. You know, the kind of like it looks semi-realistic. The game.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I'm fucking ready, man. Give me that shit. That's all I got. Give me the cash.
Do it.
You know. All right. Fuck. I wish Manny was here for this one too. He wants to know. Do you have any thoughts? He goes, thoughts about Nier from Tony and E-Man, since you two mentioned you got the game. I haven't played it, bro. Look, see, plastic is still on it. I haven't played it. Manny's been playing it. He loves it. And Richard was telling us, me and Carlos, about it earlier today, and he fucking loves it too. Richard says that's his favorite game of the first quarter, actually. And Gary said the same. And Gary said the same thing too. So yeah, man. This is the game I've been waiting for from Platinum Games for a while, to be honest, man. Like, to me, I've kind of fell out of their favor, or they fell out of my favor after fucking Metal Gear Rising. Terrible fucking game, you know. And then they made Legend of Korra. I didn't give a fuck about that.
I don't think anyone would care for that.
And I know they made Transformers was good. I didn't play it. And then they also did fucking Ninja Turtles, which I heard was trash, you know.
I think they spread themselves too thin.
Yeah.
Shit, you know. But yeah, I mean, Nier sounds good. I mean, maybe that's what pissed off Phil Spencer.
Yeah. Hey, that's
talking about that too.
Yeah, we were talking about that. And Manny, you know, that's Manny's theory. You know, he thinks that Scalebound was the game they decided to make because they wanted that money, right? And they were like, let's put that money into what we really want to make. You know, because from all accounts, Nier is like brilliant, you know, has so many very different gameplay styles. Like, it could be like a standard hack and slash game, and all of a sudden it's 2D hack and slash, and then it goes into some fucking afterburner shit, you know. It's crazy.
Yeah, like what were they saying, a shoot 'em up game?
Yeah, it's a shoot 'em up game. It's like all that, like, it's R type all of a sudden. It's like, what's going on here? You know, just like Bayonetta. Remember, Bayonetta had all that crazy shit going on in it too, you know. Platinum, I think they're back, man. You know, I know some motherfuckers. What are you talking about, Tony? They never went away. Metal Gear Rising was classic. No,
it's not.
Trash. You know,
I was like, what?
Yeah, that game was fucking terrible, man. Brian was here. He'd be like, no, it wasn't. It was brilliant.
Yo, I'm waiting for that game. Like, there's so many games, man.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
We're in game again, man. It's still going. Mass Effect
games.
Yo, everything is gonna pause for Mass Effect. So, Nier, I don't even know when I'm gonna get to that.
I don't know, man. Because okay, I'm playing Zelda right now. You know, this shit is getting put on hold. Mass Effect. Mass Effect comes. That's it. Everything's getting cut off. And then after that, I'm gonna probably go back to Zelda. Then I'm gonna go back. I didn't finish fucking Gravity Rush. This is the first time in my history where I've stopped games because I have to play other games. That's never happened before. You know? And then after that, you got Persona. Fuck. And I still got Yakuza.
Yakuza, man. I'm like 10 hours into Yakuza and I stopped, man.
Fuck. And I didn't even touch Neo. Imagine that shit.
I haven't gone back to Yakuza either.
Man, some crazy
I haven't
shit.
touched Neo either, but no, everything is on hold for Mass Effect. Everything.
Yeah, Mass Effect, yeah.
Mass Effect, like, you can stop life for Mass Effect.
Don't fuck it up, please. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. You know?
But Nier, like, yeah, it's a casualty, man. It's a casualty of the game again, and so, but it's one of those games that I'm definitely gonna play before the year ends, because so many good, like, people that I trust have been praising this game, so I want to play it before the end of the year, so before like Game of the Year awards and stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
I want to make sure that I play that shit.
I can't wait.
This year is gonna get packed, man.
I want to know what's coming up in the last
This is what I was saying in terms of Nintendo, like with this launch and everything that's happening around it. With Mass Effect coming out and all the stuff we have mentioned that is coming out later, but in a short amount of time, they're going to get completely overshadowed. Like, honestly, if you're a multi-system guy right now, like you guys are, right? You have a Switch, you have everything. Tony has everything. Carlos has everything. You gonna buy Mario Kart 8 over fucking
Shadow War or something?
Get the fuck out of here.
Shadow War?
That's a negative.
No way. No way. Your Switch is gonna go in the bottom of your closet. You're gonna find it about November. Like, oh shit, Mario's coming out. Where'd I put that shit? It's under my laundry basket. That's what's gonna happen.
No, the reason I'm really laughing is because I'm already thinking about, okay, where am I going to put the Switch during the fucking drought?
Right?
Listen, I don't give a fuck about Mario Kart, some fucking remaster. I don't give a fuck about that. The only game I'm going to play after Zelda is Mario. And by the way, just to let you guys in on a conversation we were having before this show, right? I was thinking about myself, like, okay, what am I looking forward to with the Switch, right? Then I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm not looking forward too much because let's say Pokemon, right? Comes out, I'm not buying that. I don't care about Pokemon. Smash Brothers, I don't give a fuck about Smash Brothers. Mario Kart, like I said, don't give a fuck about that. Splatoon, don't give a fuck about that. Most Nintendo games, unless they're old school, I don't give a fuck about. Pikmin, don't give a fuck about. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing with this system.
Well, I mean, we've been hearing stuff that it's getting hacked and stuff, so that might turn out to be the new.
You know what? What's the first thing people are going to do though? When to really show that it's hacked, they're just going to play old games. They're going to go and play the Advance and Game Boy games.
They're going to skip the virtual console. It's like, fuck that.
Well, no, well, we're going to get the virtual console earlier now. The real virtual console.
Yo, they hacked that shit 2 weeks after it came out, son.
2 weeks. Yeah, that's
2 weeks. Oh man! By the way, what was the other part of the question was also, can you tell me if my presumption that this is an open world action JRPG is appropriate? I don't know. I haven't played it. About Nier. I have no idea.
Yeah, Manny would know.
Manny would know. He's been playing that shit. He also goes, "P.S. I'm still waiting on better AI in games, though." Me too.
Yeah.
Thanks for the week. Yeah.
Even the best of games still have pretty weak AI.
Yeah, this is how bad AI is in games, right? When you see good AI, you get surprised. Like obvious AI too. Like I was playing Zelda, I threw a bomb at them. These motherfuckers kicked it back to me. I'm like, oh shit! I wasn't expecting that.
The part where one of the guys will actually pick up one of the dead bodies and throw it at you.
I could believe that. There's a lot of like different systems going on in Zelda. Like I'm surprised they were able to pull off some of that shit, to be honest. But anyway, but it's not a 10 out of 10 game. Fuck that. And he also goes, thanks for the weekly content. You damn right. Throwdown, man. All right.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Next up, Mr. G Megaforce 123. Right. Does the Nintendo seal of quality still mean anything? After so many reports of people having issues with their Switch, is it safe to say that Nintendo can no longer be trusted to make high quality hardware? Chris, I'm looking right at you, man.
Oh, the seal of quality hasn't meant anything since freaking Super Nintendo. Like, I mean, like honestly, the seal of quality is a vestige of the 80s. It was something made after the video game crash, so that people, consumers felt assured, like the game, the psychology of it, that they passed some sort of standard. But Nintendo used to check that stuff back in the day. Now it doesn't mean a thing. And yeah, they were known for making good hardware, but the Switch was rushed. This is what I said before. This system wasn't ready. Everything was rushed out, and they made design choices that are really head scratching. Like, we know the left Joy-Con is physically defective because the Bluetooth antenna is soldered into the board, while on the right stick it is actually a loose antenna. That's why the right Joy-Con doesn't have connection issues, right? So those kind of things, and that just shows the system was rushed. It wasn't ready, and they got it out in March because they want to make their investors happy. It wasn't about us. So if they had the time to work on it and they actually planned it like anyone else would, they would have had a holiday release. They would have had time. We got the stuff out. So the seal quality hasn't meant anything in years. So don't even ignore that. If you see a seal on it, read it. It doesn't say seal of quality. I think it says official Nintendo something or another. It's BS.
And to be fair, that seal of quality barely meant anything back in the 80s because you had some dreck fucking games on the Nintendo Entertainment System. That shit didn't mean anything, man. That fucking Friday the 13th game was fucking bullshit. That got a seal of approval. Get out of here, man. That fucking bullshit. That Predator game got the seal of approval. Come on, son. The motherfucking Silver Surfer game got the seal of approval.
My name is Mayo, got a platinum, but Hitman doesn't? Come on.
So yeah, no, that seal of approval, not only does it not, it definitely doesn't mean shit now. It barely meant anything back in the day. It was just made, to appease people that were afraid of another video game crash. That's all it was for, man. It never meant anything.
Yeah. And Nintendo really built their hardware well. I mean, you could throw a Super Nintendo out of a 3-story window and then plug it in and play it. Those days are over. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do that with your Switch.
Shit.
Joy-Con.
I always did, because you remember how he held it like that in the video for some reason? He was like, Joy-Con boys, then he fell over. Yeah, Joy-Con, man. I've been playing with this. Like, you do get used to it, but I haven't had the connection issues. But the Joy-Con is still a bullshit concept though. Like, look at this shit right here. Like, look under the fucking, I don't know, man.
Yeah, they like I said like a week ago, they sacrificed ergonomic like the ergonomics of the controller for the sake of their stupid gimmick.
Let me touch some nipples.
Yeah, about gimmicks, it's 2 Wii remotes. It's 2 symmetrical Wii remotes. It's stupid.
But you could, man, it feels like ice cubes though.
Oh,
I got ice cubes right here, real ones. Get the fuck out. My metal Dominican cup. All right. Fuck are we? Next up. Okay, this is an interesting question. If Nintendo was a Western company, would the Switch exist? It is known that the Japanese are infamous for creating some very interesting and outright quirky things that we Westerners will find oddly amusing. Nintendo, as a Japanese company, is part of this, as though using marketing gimmicks for motion control for the Switch. A thought: if Nintendo was a Western company, would it ever conceive the concept of the Switch? Would it just design a conventional home console and play with the competition? Yeah, Chris, again, I'm looking at you. What do you think about that? If Nintendo was a a Western company, would they even develop anything like the Switch?
No, because here's the thing. Like, that's a great question. Remember where Nintendo is based. Remember where all the ideas and their culture comes from. It comes from Japan.
Yeah.
If you remove that and if you bring them here to operate, right? In Japan, they're all about mobile content. Manga's huge. They read little comics, and things like that. They like having stuff that they can carry around. But we're not like that. Besides smartphones and shit, people want to keep it simple, So and Microsoft doesn't need to make a handheld. I mean, Sony really didn't do a good job promoting the Vita. It's great, but they didn't care. But they don't need it now. I mean, the PS4 is doing so well. Nintendo would never make the Switch. It would be a real damn home system, and it would be full featured. It would be a full media player. They would fight to be the center of your living room. That is what Microsoft and Sony are doing right now. That is why they are full featured game systems and media players. That's what they want, because if you squeeze the other guy out of the living room, then you squeeze them out of obscurity. That's what's important in the Western market, but that's not what's important in Japan. So if you move Nintendo here, then that becomes their focus, and the Switch would never exist.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. What do you think about some of those Western companies? Like, didn't Nvidia come out with the Shield? Isn't that kind of like the Switch?
Yeah. Well, the Shield tablet was just, for Nvidia, they're rolling in money. That was an experiment.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, all these people are mobile gaming and stuff, so maybe we can make something that can give them that experience. They made a Shield console. They made a Shield. They reached into everything. There's a Shield console. You could go look at it. It's still overpriced. They didn't lower the price of it. You get the Shield tablet. You get that little clamshell Shield. Yeah, but none of them worked out. Why? Because that stuff isn't important to us as gamers. What's important to us as gamers is the experience, right?
Yeah.
Whether you can take it on the go or not. Like, I could play some bullshit on my phone on the subway or something when I used to do. I didn't really care. I have the 3DS. It's good because it has good games, right? But it's not about the portability. It's just the experience, right? So that's why a hypothetical Nintendo that would be based here would not be making Joy-Cons or that stupid shit.
Yeah, they would never.
Yeah,
look at this. Look at the size of these fucking things. I'm not trying to be racist here, but Western hands are bigger than this, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, Microsoft learned that when they made the Duke for the first Xbox, and they went to
that huge fucking
Had to
That
make
was
a
too
small one.
big, you
And
know.
you think we'd be used to that after the Dreamcast controller?
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
You
but
know?
no gimmicks in any of those. Like gimmicks are the only reason the Connect and Move happened was because Nintendo hit on something that was popular for a generation, right? And we got motion controls. But other than that, motion controls might never have been born because I doubt they would have tried a gimmick like that. But that gimmick is a one-shot deal. It's just like 3D. Who gives a shit about 3D?
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
It's funny how Nintendo come out with the 3DS just as the interest in 3D completely died off.
Right.
You know?
Go out and buy a 3D TV. You know?
Exactly.
It's dead. Shit's dead.
By the way, I need to say this just before anybody gets on our ass about this. Yes, we know that Sony is not a Western company, but they think like a Western company as far as video game goes. So just had to put that out there because I know motherfuckers be like, Sony's a fucking Western. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, is Mark Cerny from Japan?
Yeah, exactly.
No, name the equivalent guy at Nintendo. He doesn't exist. They're all in Japan. They don't take any input. You think Retro Studio? You think they're listening to those guys? Those guys have great ideas. You know where they go? In the fucking garbage with all the other ideas that come out of Nintendo of America. They don't care.
Yeah, Techno Fabulous, he goes, I think what the Switch isn't able to do outweighs what the system offers. I think after the newness and initial sales wear off, it would face an uphill battle. Oh yeah, it's gonna face an uphill battle, right? When it has no fucking games, you know. I'm telling you, it's gonna get brutal, man. The only thing that's gonna save it now is gonna be the hacking shit.
Yeah,
it's like PSP, you know.
Yeah, the hacking and I would say something that would possibly like save it is Pokemon and all the 3DS titles.
Pokemon do it. Pokemon and enough systems out there. You know?
Yeah, but the problem is like while they could put effort behind Pokemon, remember that the 3DS is a 2-screen experience. So it'd be really fucking hard for anyone else to bother to port a game to the Switch and try to figure out how to make that work in a 1-screen experience, you know?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay. Next question here. Last question from Mr. G Mega Force. Right. Do games with female protagonists get held to a higher standard? It seems games with female main characters have to go above and beyond to get high scores and are judged a lot more harshly compared to games with cis male main characters. Is this is obviously funny? Is the patriarchy trying to prevent or discourage developers from making games with female leads? I'm gonna say that games with female like characters at least they definitely get more scrutiny, you know. Yeah. But I think that's happening more now than before. Like nobody was saying shit when Lara Croft was starring in the game. It's like, hey, cool, I'll play as her. I think it's more nowadays that there's more scrutiny. Like the female has to embody like a specific type of like she has to account for every woman basically, whereas a male character doesn't have to, which I think is stupid. Just let the character be what they're gonna be. What does it matter what their gender is? Is the character interesting? That's all that should matter. But now they want to take it to this whole other level. These agendas and shit. It's crazy, but just to be fair, there are certain guys out there, not a lot, but there are certain guys who go, fuck that, I'm not playing a game, I'm not playing as a girl. There's dudes like that, guys that aren't secure in their sexuality. Hey, I'm calling you guys out.
Well, you also said you wouldn't, with the whole gay movie, would you play as a gay character if that was the main protagonist?
Oh, I mean, if I don't have to gay it, that's a good question.
Like that's the thing.
I'll be honest, because I'm a straight guy, I wouldn't watch a gay movie. Would I play as a gay character? I probably would. I have played as gay characters. Every time I'm a woman, I have sex with women. So I've already done it, But I'm still looking at it as a male, obviously. Yeah, I probably would. It's a video game. It's a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like if I was a guy and he was gay, yeah, I probably would play it anyway. I wouldn't care. I guess that shows I'm not a hypocrite. But with movies, I don't know about that. Like especially if they have like hardcore sex, like, come on, man, you can only push me too far,
The Ballad of Gay Tony.
Yeah, he wasn't gay. He was gay, but the main dude was gay. He was Dominican, the only Dominican protagonist I ever played in a video game. It was beautiful. Real Dominican too, Adam, not like that guy from Mafia.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, Mafia.
Real Dominican, pure, So yeah, what do you guys think about female protagonists, man?
I think they do get over scrutinized more than a male. For example, let's say you have a game like, let's say Tomb Raider comes out next year, and then there's this part of the game where Lara Croft needs to get saved by someone, just a small portion of the mission.
Yeah.
Let's say that same thing happens for Nathan Drake, where he gets saved by Chloe or whatever, right? So if both of those things happen, one of them is going to get way more scrutiny than the other. So
Yeah.
that's just one of the double standards that a lot of people have towards female protagonists and female characters in general in video games, which sucks really. But I don't know. Like so far, we've had like pretty good a good run of video game led by female characters. Like we had Horizon, we had Tomb Raider, Heavenly Sword. What else have we played?
I think even way back, even before that was State Empire.
Yeah. There's a ton of games with like female protagonists. I don't know why people are like still complain that there's not. There's plenty, you know. But yeah, no, they definitely get held to a higher standard. Or in my case, I think it's just more scrutiny. You know.
Yeah, it's more scrutiny. Yeah, I agree.
All right, moving on here, a related question. My man, final stage boss. All right, well, SJWs find something wrong with Aloy from Horizon. Okay, here's the thing about Horizon, right? That game is very, very, very like SJW friendly, like diversity everywhere. You know, the female protagonist, like there's no white men aren't exactly in charge, right? But at the same time, like all that shit is like hidden under the surface, you know what I mean? Or I mean, it's in your face, but it's not like shoved in there, which is fine. So I didn't mind that. It's like, okay, you guys want to have a game with that sort of stuff going on? That's cool, no problem. You're not really shoving it in there like that, you know? There's a lot of things, and it's very, I guess, for the, you know, I hate using this term, but you know, it's just what it is. It's a very feminist safe game, right? But they're still finding shit wrong with it. My favorite one was that it's guilty of cultural appropriation because they have like Native American shit. No, they don't. They're fucking tribe people. They just have crazy looking shit.
Also, they have different tribes. There's like
tribes, yeah.
Yeah, that's like the Oseram look like a medieval European culture, right?
Yeah.
Then you have the Nora, and they kind of have a Native American thing going on. You have the Banuk, who look like Vikings. Like there's all sorts of stuff. So I think cultural appropriation is just parallels to ancient cultures. Is parallels, guys. Calm it down.
Yeah, come on, guys. Like again, because the game is so it's for them basically, right? They had to find something. You know? Like, come on, guys, let it go. Just play the game and have fun. The game is purposely not trying to offend you. Stop it, you know? But you're right. It's like it's taking homage from all these various cultures, which is a good thing, right? I know. You know what? I'll stop myself right now because I was about to get in a whole rant about why I think the whole notion of cultural appropriation is such bullshit. I'll stop that. I'm not going to get into it. But no, that's what they found wrong with the game. But they haven't found anything specifically wrong with Aloy except, oh, she's white. That's the only thing they could find. Really, because being white is such a sin now? Come on, man. You know?
Oh, my God.
Hey, I'm going to say something controversial. I like white people. They're great.
Oh, my God.
I love white people. No one loves the white people more than I do.
Yeah, right? Reverse racism. I don't know.
Yeah, like what's like I've been playing through the game and I haven't really seen, like, I always try to look for that. It's like, oh, that, or when I see something like, yeah, those SJWs are going to be hitting that right now.
You know it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, but this game, it's pretty hard.
Yeah, the game is like so SJW proof, but they had to find that, you know. But again, it's bringing up all those tenets of like social justice-y stuff in a good way, in a positive way, you know. My thing is, I don't have a problem with like social justice stuff, like everybody should be treated equally and whatever. It's just when they stifle your like free speech that I have a problem with it, you know, or they just don't listen to logic. That's when I have a problem with it. But you know, themes about like everybody being equal and stuff, that's great. That's fine, you know. And I think Horizon does it in a very tasteful way, you know.
Yeah. And look, guys, you have to everybody needs to calm it down with that stuff, because like, look, you can't having diversity doesn't mean you swing the pendulum the other way, and it's like, we've had white people in games for years, now we need all minorities, and like that's not what diversity means.
Yeah, that's not what it means. Yeah,
you have a mixture. You don't swing the pendulum the other way. And then secondly, not for nothing, but if you want this game to have a wide appeal, I don't know if you've looked at the rest of America. I don't know if you've been to like Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or rural Arkansas, but yeah, you might want your main character to be white if you wanted to sell there.
Yeah, let's just be honest. Like, there's a reason that we are minorities for a reason. That means we're not as abundant as the other people, which is white people. You know, I think what was it? It's like African Americans are like 11% of the the population in America. Hispanics are like 20-25%. So I always thought, like, why don't you just make the games like that? Right? Like, make it actually proportionate to the actual demographics of the entire country, you know? But that would also mean half the characters have to be female, you know, because that's how it's broken down, you know? But they don't do that. Like you said, Chris, they swing the pendulum to the other in other extreme to try to get diversity, but then it's like it's not diverse at all. Like we've talked about with Black Panther, they're touting this movie as the most diverse superhero movie of all time because it has a 95% African American cast.
Yeah, but that's not
diverse. That's not diverse. That's not diverse at all.
Yeah.
You know? Oh man, it's crazy. But yeah, that's the only thing they could find wrong with Horizon, you know, on that tip. All right. That last question from Mr. Final Stage Boss. He goes, I bought a Nintendo Switch. I've tried playing with the Joy-Cons detached and in separate hands, but I just can't get used to playing like that. Have you tried playing that way? And if so, were you comfortable doing so? No, I fucking wasn't. I can't play. Like, Carlos, you go ahead because I got to detach this thing. It takes a little while, you know.
Yeah,
I don't get it right either, you know.
I can't play with the Joy-Cons in any configuration. I can't play them when they're portable mode. I can't play them when they're separate, and I can't play them when they're on that adapter thing.
Yeah. Okay, but this is it right here. This is where they're separated. I can't hang, man. Like they're so weird, you know. Like they're better on the adapter, but like that, it's no.
It feels weird, especially the thumbsticks. Look, could you try that again, Tony?
Yeah, let me put it back up here. This shit out the way.
Like
that, you know.
It just feels weird the way your thumbs are positioned.
Yeah, it's just really weird, you know, like especially this one right here, you know.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to press those buttons too.
Yeah, because then you have to like climb all the way up here. It's not good, man. It's not good. And then you got to put like those other things on top of it to make them bigger. Try getting those things off easily. You saw my fucking unboxing video. Holy shit, you know. It's these Joy-Cons, like I'll be, you know, just being completely honest, I have found it easier using these because they at least have these things in the back, but it's still weird. You still want to fuck with the Pro Controller. This is the shit you want. Nice big buttons, the D-pad, you know, the analog sticks are good.
And battery for days.
Battery for days. I've been playing this shit for a week. I haven't had to charge it yet, man. By the way, you know, since we're on that subject, I was playing the Switch on dock mode yesterday, right? Yo, I played this shit for an hour and a half. 50% of the battery was dead, and it took fucking forever to recharge. I'm like, what? Hold on. So an hour and a half of play, it takes 3 hours to go back to 100 from 50? Really?
Were you continuing to play it while it was charging?
I did, but I figured that would offset it a little bit. You know,
here's the problem. This was why I was arguing with fanboys over this when they said, "Oh, I'll just buy a big lithium battery and charge it." No. Because guess what? The games like Zelda drain the power faster than it can draw.
Yeah.
Lithium battery. You're only getting 1 to 2 amps max from the lithium battery, unlike it's plugged in the wall. That the power draw that Tegra needs is huge. So it actually is sucking power faster than you can transfer it from a lithium battery to the system. So guess what? That idea is broken. That's not going to work. That's why it takes so long to charge when you continue playing, when you dock it.
Yeah, because dude, I was playing it, you know, okay, when I play, maybe it's a bad equivalent, but when I play, let's say I'm using a PlayStation controller, right? And it's completely drained, right? I plug it into the system, I start playing, everything's fine. An hour and a half later, it's charged. It's completely charged. But that was not what's happening with the Nintendo Switch. I played it for about 2 more hours, actually 3 more hours afterwards, because, you know, you get deep into Zelda, and I go to turn off my system, 87% charged. Like what? Like you barely recharged during that time. And I only played it off, you know, in dock mode for an hour and a half, you know?
Right.
Shit, it's crazy. They weren't lying about that battery life, you know? For Zelda, an hour and a half, the shit was already 50%.
God damn.
It's bullshit.
I remember
it's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
It's bullshit, Mr.
Romulan.
Mr. Romulan.
Yo, I remember I was rewatching the Switch Unveil episode we did, and I was like I was like so proud of us. Like we were like calling out shit like as we were seeing it, and all that shit came true, man.
Every last one. This is why I'm like, yo, you gotta listen to Throwdown, man. We're not fucking fanboys or idiots. We know what the fuck we're talking about, and we're almost always right. You know, all that shit that happened at the Switch Rio, we called every single thing. We were fucking right about it. You know.
In particular with the Joy-Cons, like I remember when we first saw them, like when dude was holding, was like those things are small as hell.
Look at this! Look at this thing! Look how fucking small it is, man. You know, and you know, yeah. Granted, I have big ass hands, but come on, son, I can't be fucking with this. You know, look at this shit. You know, this is not. Hey, listen, we're made for Western hands. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. You know, come on, son.
And when we were like talking about like especially when Chris was writing his article about how much the Switch would actually cost, like the Pro Controller, like there's a reason why that was included, because most people are gonna need the Pro Controller. Like playing with the Joy-Cons is horrible. It's like a bad experience for me.
Let's break that shit down right now. Okay, I bought the Switch. Carlos did too. $300, right? Let's throw this baby into it. This Pro Controller, $70. I bought a SD card, $60. Chris, you were right about the price.
Yeah, it's the cost. This is
and a game. So,
yeah.
There you go, man.
Yeah, I did say it would end up costing between $400 $500 at the end of the day. Even up to, you could get upwards. I've heard of people spending $700.
Wow.
Right? If you buy all of the stuff you bought, but instead of the normal Zelda, they bought that Master Collection. You know, the one that Manny wanted? You're up to a $700 receipt.
Hold on, Chris. I need to put you on blast, though. Because there's one thing you didn't predict, man. You didn't predict the price of the screen protector, so your shit wouldn't get scratched when you put that shit on the dock.
Oh, well, that's hilarious, because I couldn't predict how fucked up this hardware was going to be, you know? Like, I knew, like I did say before, that you don't want the first run of the hardware because it might have manufacturing defects. And I did say dead pixels, and sure enough, it had dead pixels. And the Joy-Con Bluetooth antenna on the left Joy-Con is messed up. So I did call that. But how would I know they were going to use like the cheapest fucking plastic possible? That adhesive will ruin it. Like that never happened on any system. Man. You can't get decals.
Chris, what were your original pricings again?
I said you'd end up spending between $400 and $500. I thought that the console itself would cost $350.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so I calculated it right now, right? I took everything into account. The console, the Pro Controller, a game, the SD card, and the screen protector. You know how much I paid? $552.75.
Oh my god!
There you go.
And that, not only that, but
that's an Xbox One.
Yeah, and
that's a Scorpio, man. Fuck that.
That is a Scorpio.
That is a Scorpio. And here's the kicker: like, you think like guys like Kimishima don't know that we need a Pro Controller?
They know.
He knows. We need that shit. He knows we'd buy it. He put it at $70. He priced a fucking plastic dock with one hub in it for $90. You think this motherfucker wants money? Yeah, hell yeah, he wants money. Nintendo looking to get paid off this thing, and like, don't fall for, you know, Manny's not here. He calls it the rope-a-dope or whatever. Yeah, they're conning you. Everything in this system is marked up. You're telling me if you look at the Joy-Cons, you're telling me Joy-Cons are $90. Ridiculous.
Individually, like
individually they're $50. So if you bought them into two, they'd be $100.
Hey, they give you $10 off. Thank you, Nintendo.
So $90 Joy-Cons, and then you're saying the dock is $90.
The dock, and by the way, the dock has nothing in it. There's no processing power at all. It is fucking plastic. It's plastic that scratches up your fucking system.
Yeah, and then you have a grip that they throw in there. So you tell me the core of the system, the actual thing that's the Switch, the tablet, is only $120. Really? The one with the Tegra and the SSD and everything is $120. You get that logic? Do you think something's wrong with that pricing?
Yeah, think about that. The actual console itself is only $120. Ain't that something?
They don't even have the courtesy to fucking give you a carrying case for your fucking Switch, man.
Yeah, right. Nothing.
Not even a packing game. And fuck Reggie and his excuses. Fuck
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah. It's bullshit, man.
1-2 switch, man. Fuck you, man.
Yeah, it's bullshit. All right, let's move on here. My man Enrique from Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. He asked us, will Sony drop even more exclusives later this year? This is a good question because I honestly don't know what the fuck they're coming out with at the end of the year. You know, I have a theory about this, but I'll let you guys answer first.
Well, they obviously will, because they can't just go on through the whole second half of the year without releasing an exclusive.
Really, Carlos? What about last year?
Well, they released Last Guardian, but yeah, I see your point. Like, we still don't know about God of War. We don't know about Spider-Man. We don't know about all these games. So yeah, it's a toss-up. I don't know what's gonna happen, and we don't know what they're gonna announce at E3. Maybe Shenmue. Maybe who knows, man. Yeah.
All right, I'm throwing out my crazy theory. And again, just crazy. I don't think Sony's going to drop shit this fall. I don't think they're dropping nothing. I think they saw how successful things are for them during the first quarter. I think all their heavy shit is coming out early next year. That's what I think. I think they may drop one game during the fall, right? You know, just like Last Guardian, but they're mostly just going to keep quiet until early next year, 2018. Between January and March, they're going to drop some bombs just like they did this year. That's my crazy theory, you know? We'll see what happens. But I do predict Sony, it would be smart for them to release one of those bombs this year, like, you know, like a Spider-Man or God of War. But I think they found a good spot for themselves. Instead of trying to compete with Call of Duty and Madden and all this other shit, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yo.
Man, what's going on, brother?
Yo.
So yeah, instead of dealing with all that, they're just going to say, fuck it. We're going to wait until the early quarter 2018. That's my prediction. I don't think Sony's going to come out with anything except maybe one game and that's it.
What's this?
Okay, the question was, do you think Sony's going to drop any more exclusives this year? And I predict, I don't think they're going to drop anything. They're going to drop that shit early next year because it worked out really well for them this year. All those crazy games they dropped, you know? All right, so Manny, how was Logan or King Kong, or whatever?
I went to see King Kong. Yeah, it was a little further out to see this one, so it took me a while to get back.
Yeah, but yeah. By the way, Manny, we'll get to your questions later on. But
sure.
What do you think? Do you think Sony's going to drop like a bunch of big exclusives this year, or do you think they're going to wait?
No, I think maybe we got one more big exclusive from Sony coming out, but that doesn't mean that there's not going to be an exclusive specifically coming from another company, because you remember there are still quite a bit of things that were announced as exclusive games, like a certain game called Hellblade.
Oh yeah, that was one of the questions.
We had a question about that one, which should probably come out in that sometime in that middle time.
And let's not forget those third-party exclusives. You know, if Red Dead Redemption comes out this year, it's already been confirmed that they have an exclusivity deal. That's going to be Sony's big game. That's going to be huge for them. You know, that'll help them offset the Scorpio a little bit. You know,
who would have thought third-party support mattered?
Yeah, right. You know, hey, Sony made it work. Destiny, Call of Duty, it worked for them this generation. You know, but according to Phil Spencer, it's bad, right?
It's bad for the industry.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think, Adam? Big exclusives? What's going on?
I think it's. I don't know about the big exclusives. I don't know. I think it's going to really come down to probably like what it's been doing. It's just content. You said with the Red Dead, I'm sure there'll be some kind of. I mean, they did it last time. They do it almost all of them, where it's like, oh, it's everyone wants a piece of the pie, and they're down to get money. So, remember first Red Dead? What was it? GameStop had a certain type of horse, and then Walmart had something, and of course, the Xbox had. Everybody had a little something. So, I think we'll see more of that.
That sounds good. All right. Before we go back to those questions, I want to answer. Titanfall Princess. This is a good question. Nice and simple too. What are your favorite fighting games?
Current one is probably the Guilty Gear Xrd series. Past ones would be Marvel Superheroes, Street Fighter Alpha 1, Street Fighter 2. Any version of that Street Fighter 2. I like Darkstalkers and any of the Versus series, except from Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. That one's okay. It's not great.
Yeah, you pretty much named all my favorites. Well, let me go in. So, old school Capcom was the shit. Street Fighter 2, loved all those Street Fighter 2s. Street Fighter Alpha 1 specifically was great. Street Fighter Alpha 2 was good too. All the versus games, and let's go back a little bit. X-Men Children of the Atom, X-Men Street Fighter, which is actually my favorite fighting game of all time. Darkstalkers, liked all that. Marvel vs. Capcom 1, Virtua Fighter, gotta go back to Virtua Fighter 2. My favorite of the Virtua Fighter games. Soul Calibur was fucking great, 1 and 2.
Yep. Soul Blade, that's one of my, Bloody Roar was also one of mine too.
There you go. Hey, if we're gonna get crazy like that, what's the one I liked?
Fighting Vipers
and Fighters Mega Mix. Remember that
Fighters
shit?
Mega Mix.
And you know what game I liked, which was, Manny, you already know why I like this, even though the game was fucking trash. Primal Rage, man. Dinosaurs? I'm done. That's all I need. The game was fucking terrible. It controlled like shit. Mortal Kombat, you can't forget about that.
Mortal Kombat 2 was the shit.
Clay Fighters, I'm fucking around now. I know no Clay Fighters.
Clay Fighter.
Yeah, Neo Geo shit, Samurai Showdown. Ooh, Samurai Showdown.
King of Fighters.
One thing to know about me and Tony, like we were like fighting game maniacs. Like,
yeah, we were pretty nuts about that.
Like we had a lot of them, like Samurai Showdown, all those games we play, and it's funny, like as in the kind of, I want to say like maybe the PlayStation generation we kind of fell off on it. Like Dreamcast was like the last one.
Well, that's when like fighting games in general kind of died off. Like to me, Street Fighter 3, which I didn't like too much, that was kind of like the end of fighting games for me for a while. I came back with Street Fighter 4, but it wasn't as big as like it was back in the 90s when we were every day after school, man, we go to hit up that fucking arcade, the import store, playing all that shit.
Yeah, the import store that we went to that eventually became Image Anime in New York City. They used to always they were one of the only places that had like one of the versus games. They had X-Men versus Street Fighter back in the day. They had
King of Fighters,
King of Fighters, all those games. So
that was the shit. All right, Chris, what you got, man?
Oh man, I was like you guys. There was a bodega that was on Union Turnpike and Utopia across from the pizza parlor. I played Street Fighter 2 in that place every day. And then I crossed the street because the pizza place had Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
So we used to just go back and forth. It was Peter Pan. I used to go there and play shit like Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat. I tried a Virtua Fighter. I sucked at, but Samurai Showdown I was good at. I play that. Right now, I currently Killer Instinct is awesome. I'm looking forward to Injustice 2. You tried out?
Nice.
Injustice 2 looks like fucking solid, man. That looks good. But yeah, I like Guilty Gear, man. You got me Guilty Gear. That's awesome.
Guilty Gear, man.
I've played a couple of the Blaze Blue games. Those are good. I mean, there's a few, but Street Fighter will always have a special place to me. That was like every day in high school. I didn't miss a day. Like I could stand in Peter Pan on one quarter and take on 12 guys. That was the shit.
It's funny when we went. Remember, like around my birthday, I'm like, yeah, I want to go to an arcade. And then we went to that lousy Peter Pan, and we're just like, oh,
yeah,
because it's years off. Like I don't know, maybe my 25th birthday or 24th birthday. I was like, yeah, let's go to the arcade, and it's like, oh, we went to Peter Pan. I was like, oh. Then we went. We actually went. I think we actually went all the way out to Nathan's in
the Nathan's in Garden City.
In Garden City, and that one still had some stuff there, but that place used to be a lot better back in the day too.
Yeah.
Right, Adam, what about you, man?
Injustice. That's a great fighting game that I enjoyed, and pretty much any wrestling game, good or bad, that's still a fighting game.
I'll let it slide on this episode.
That's it. What is it? It's all fighting. It's it. It's one-on-one. It's fighting, and then you beat somebody.
I haven't played wrestling, like a full-on wrestling game since like SmackDown on PlayStation 2.
Hey Manny, what's your favorite wrestling game of all time? Like this is actually one of the questions you missed.
One of my favorite wrestling games of all time?
What is your ultimate favorite?
Yeah, that was one of the questions.
Yeah.
Oh shit! It's friggin' it's No Mercy and the other one, WrestleMania 2000.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm not GameCube, for Nintendo 64. Those are like the best ones. Yeah. That's the grapple system where you kind of like you can do like grab them and then just do a specific move. I hated that fucking SmackDown engine, man. The one that was like, it's like you press one button and they instantly do a move. It's just like there's no like strategy to that shit.
That's why Fire Pro.
And a lot of people hate this game, but I also it's a guilty pleasure. It's WCW Nitro.
Oh, Nitro's good. Yeah, Nitro.
That was a good game.
A lot of people like that one actually.
That was one of the first games that I noticed that they were using. Like that was back in the era where, like, you remember where all the characters used to have like different jointed parts. They were almost like action figures in games. In that game, they actually did scans of all the wrestlers, and they all had like skin. Like, so, like, in other words, when they lift their arms, you wouldn't see like the separation between the polygons and shit.
Yeah.
So it was really well done, that one. But yeah.
All right. And Carlos, what are your favorite fighting games?
So Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter Alpha, Tekken for the PS1, the first one. I never really played the rest of the ones. I remember playing Tekken on the underground demo disc for PlayStation, and I used to just play as Eddie the whole time, man. Those were addicting.
Tekken 3, right? You play as Eddie Gordo.
Yeah. What else? Oh, this one's controversial. Super Smash Brothers.
Man, that shit ain't a fighting game. That
is still a fighting game, man.
What?
No, it's not.
I love that.
I'm
game.
not getting into that. No.
Like,
all right, you can. I'll for this question, I'll let it slide. But
yeah, man, that, like, you'd be surprised like how many people that game brings together. Like, there's like a lot of people that are not into video games that'll just have Smash parties.
Yeah, because they don't know what a proper fighting game is. That's why.
Yeah. Let me tell you, the first time, because when I was working at Nintendo and that Brawl was coming out, and they had us try it, I was fucking flabbergasted. I'm like, yo, I'm doing fireballs. I can't do shit. None of my moves work, right? I didn't know. It's just like, oh, hit A, hit forward A, back A. I'm like, what kind of fighting game is this?
It's baby's first fighting game.
Yeah, basically, it's so simplified. Not only is it simplified, but it's so incoherent. You don't know what the fuck is going on. There's so much shit going on the screen. Like, it's not a fighting game for like. Hey, I'm gonna say it's not a fighting game for like real fighting game fans. I'm just being honest. I know it's that evil motherfuckers always bring that shit up. I understand they turned it into a fighting game, right? But it's never meant to be a fighting game. It's supposed to be a game you play drunk with your friends. You know, even the dude, you know, Sakurai, he was like, "This shit is not a fighting game, guys. Come on," you know. But yeah, all right.
But I like it.
Hey, you know, that's all good. I'm guessing you're gonna buy that shit for Switch. I'm not. Fuck that. You know. All right. Let's move on. Let me get through these questions for Manny. So, Carlos, don't worry about timestamps right now.
Cool.
Okay, so Manny, Hellblade, man, what do you think about Hellblade?
I think it's a really cool idea. Like I've been keeping track of the whole behind the scenes on that game, where they're just putting together all the technology. I don't know what. I mean, I think it might be some sort of action adventure game, but I don't exactly know what it's going to be. But the tech behind it and what's happening in it with it seems to interest me a lot.
Nice. And what are your thoughts? And what are your thoughts on this? Because I'm not going to be able to play as who the fuck knows when. What do you think about this, man? Nier Automatas.
Yeah, I like it. It's I really like the way the game is done. It's it's one of the first. It's not one of the first games. I mean, they've done an open world game before.
I answered that because somebody was asking, like, is it an open world game or not?
It is, but it's a Japanese version of an open world game where it's an open world, but it's like a smaller open world. And a lot of times, you know how like in most open world games, there's a plethora of things to do within the world. All of your missions and stuff pretty much come from the same places, like from the main town, then you going out to different places and getting you to go to different areas. So it's open world in that sense. So you have to run across the environment to do it. But there's no like always, it's just like kind of like Gravity Rush's open world. It's like open world, but it's also a very simplified open world. There's not really that much that goes on in the open world that really affects you, other than enemies showing up sometimes and stuff like that. So in that sense, I find the game not overwhelming. because as you know, even Tony said this before on like previous shows, and I've said it too, where I find a lot of the Western open world games a little bit overwhelming because there's just so much to do. There's all these systems built on systems, you know. So, but yeah, I like it so far. I mean, I think if you guys are paying attention to my Twitter, I had this little theory about the game, and I don't know if it might be a spoiler because I haven't gotten that far.
Yeah, so let's not get into that because you might be.
So yeah, if you want to read what I said, I did it a couple of days ago, so it might be a spoiler, it might not be a spoiler, but yeah, it's on there.
All right, let's move on. All right, Carlos, get ready, man. Okay. Mr. Mebs. Okay, so he goes, this is a question following our brief chat on PSN. Mebs is always sending me messages and stuff. Cool dude, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, has anyone played The Witcher 3 and the expansion and completed it? If so, how does it compare to Horizon? I'm hearing there's a lot of similarities. For example, one of my gripes with The Witcher 3 is how the camera pans when you're having a battle with multiple enemies who flank you from all angles. You end up with a lot of blind spots, and it can be really, really annoying, but it's one of those things you end up accepting and work with. I've read that Horizon has a similar issue with its combat, too. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you guys could compare the graphics, storyline, character development, etc. for this question, it would be really great. P.S. The Witcher 3 for me is this generation's Mass Effect 2. Really enjoyed that game. That's high praise. Mass Effect 2 was like up there. So, okay, Carlos, I'm looking at you, man, because I think you're the only one that's probably played both of these.
Yeah, but I played The Witcher 3 for like 10 hours maybe. I started playing that game, and I saw no end in sight when I was playing it. So I was like, oh shit, like it got overwhelming for me.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now about The Witcher 3. I know dudes that have put in like over 100 hours or more, and they're like,
I haven't finished it.
Yeah, like I'm nowhere near done with this shit. That's part of the reason I'm like, you know what, Tony, don't bother, because that's a game that'll probably last me for like a month or two. You know,
tell these guys to stop playing Gwent, man.
Yeah,
that was
you know. So I guess we can't really answer this question. You know.
So one of the things that So yeah, the camera thing is an issue. Like I did see that. It is kind of the same for Horizon, because Horizon, the character, they're both third-person games, but in Horizon the camera is more focused on the character.
Yeah.
So everything is like claustrophobic, if that makes any sense. Like where The Witcher 3, everything's like more from not a bird's eye view, but kind of like that.
Yeah, by the way, shout out to my man Jackal. He goes, Witcher 3 is a game you play during the summer when nothing else is out. Oh man. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like I haven't played Witcher 3 myself, obviously, but it feels like that game would be a little bit more open than Horizon, which is interesting because Horizon is a huge open world game, but at the same time, when that camera gets in so close to Aloy, it does feel very restrictive, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know why it does that at the most random times. Still, like, why are you getting so close? Back the fuck off.
Yeah.
You know? Shit. You know? But yeah, no, we can't properly answer this because nobody has beaten The Witcher 3 in this podcast.
Yeah, so I can't, like, for the graphics, I could tell you that.
The graphics. Oh, God.
Oh, my God, the graphics. What?
Now, okay, to be fair, let's compare console graphics because we all know that Witcher 3 is going to blow Horizon away on PC. You already know, son.
Well, I played The Witcher 3 on PC, so I can't.
Listen,
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm listening. Horizon is the most beautiful looking game on a console, but The Witcher 3 on PC
came with my video card.
Fuck that. Nothing's touching it, you know. But I would like to know, how does The Witcher 3 on PS4 compare to the Horizon? That's what I would want. I would still think Horizon would be a little bit better looking because it's just made for PlayStation. You know what I mean? It's specifically designed for that.
It is. Well, like, to compare it, I'm still going to compare it to the PC a little bit, but Horizon is more pretty. It's a more pretty game.
It's pretty. It's pretty. So pretty.
It's more pretty. But like, it's like, what's it called? The Witcher is more like, looks like kind of like a lot of other fantasy open world games.
Yeah.
But it's just cleaner, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. All right. Okay. Next. He actually lumped all this shit together into one massive question, so I broke it up. You know. Next question is, what are your all-time top 3 or 5 Western RPGs? Very interesting question. I'm going to tell you guys a little story before we go on here, right? I didn't know what a Western RPG was until maybe 7 years ago, last generation.
7 years ago.
Yeah, let me break this down, because when I started visiting sites like N4G and stuff, like around 2008 or so, I heard people go, "Oh, what are the best JRPGs?" I'm like, "The hell's a JRPG?" And I look it up, like, "Oh, yeah." I'm like, "Okay, Japanese RPGs." And to me, that was an oxymoron. I'm like, but if it's an RPG, it's Japanese. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Come to find out, Western guys have been making RPGs for years. I didn't know about this guy. I don't play PC games. I'm talking about shit like Ultima and shit like that. I didn't know about the existence of these games. I didn't play on PC. So I just want to tell you guys that, because to me, RPG meant a game from Japan. You know, it always meant that. So I was like, JRPG, why would you throw that in there? That's like saying cheesy cheese. We know it's cheese. Why the fuck you have to say cheese?
Yeah.
So yeah, as for I'm gonna save myself for last. I probably have again, because my knowledge in this area is so lacking. I'll save myself for last here. But let's go to Chris first, man. What are your favorite Western RPGs?
Oh, I go back. I played Might and Magic. That was good on PC.
It's still going too.
Yeah, it's still going, and
Mhm.
and especially Heroes of Might and Magic, but that was more like tactical.
That was a weird tactical. I remember playing that. You come from the left, the guys are on the right, and it's like you do a little something, you see the things fly over. That was weird.
Yeah, and you have to manage resources. It was fun. I played a few of the Ultima games. I think Ultima 8 was where I stopped because the game was so fucked up. I don't think it was finished when it was released. It was really janky. It had huge problems. Mass Effect is up there for me, man. Like Mass Effect changed my life.
Yes.
I stopped doing coke. Everything.
Went to rehab.
I found love. All thanks to Mass Effect.
Love.
Hey, listen, man. Mass Effect was a very that was Chris. I know you could vouch for this too. When I played, I'm like, oh my fucking god, this is the Star Trek game I've always wanted.
Yeah,
It is.
absolutely.
It really is.
Yeah.
I would get so excited, especially when you're playing, like, especially in 2 and 3, when you land on a planet and the music changes, the ambiance, the world just looks completely different from the last planet I was just on. I'm like, this is badass.
Yeah, no, what fucked me up was the Citadel. I'm like, wait. I could talk to the aliens. I don't just have to kill all of them. I could fuck them too. Okay, this is the shit right here. You know, because it was always annoying me. I'm like, hey, I want a game that I could explore space and talk to aliens. I don't just want to just murder all of them. Mass Effect gave me that. You know, great fucking game. You know. Anyway, you have any other games, dude?
Shit, I can't think of any right now because my big ones, like I played Might Magic on PC. I played Ultima. Like you said, I played and Mass Effect was game changing. If I think of any others, I'll jump in, but I can't think of anything else right now. As soon as I think about Mass Effect, I'm thinking about Andromeda. I just want the game right now, so I can't think about anything else. Shit.
Yeah. By the way, Shinatsky, who's actually working on a new intro for us for the Throwdown channel, he goes Baldur's Gate. That's a big one. You know?
Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate was.
Baldur's Gate.
I did play that one.
Yeah,
you're right. That was good.
Yeah,
shoot,
Chris,
even the
you're not
Fallout,
you
the first
right now, man.
First Fallout.
Was Diablo was considered a RPG, right?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it's like a dungeon crawler.
Yeah, it's like a dungeon crawler. I don't know.
But you still gain. But the thing is, you still gain levels, and you still.
No, you
didn't.
You know. In the first Diablo, I thought you just get new weapons. Like
you got new weapons and gear, and then you got jumped when people would jump on and use their mods until you go down into the.
So you don't really gain levels. You just get better shit.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I just saw something on Twitter right now. This dude goes. By the way, hold on. This dude goes. Xbox got an ad for Scorpio saying the only true 4K console. Sony should have one that says PS4, the only console with true exclusives.
No, I got a better one. only console people actually playing.
Oh.
Because if you look at their stats, when Microsoft, and I remember they took a bunch of screenshots. Most of the people are just using it for like Hulu and Netflix and the TV function. They're not actually playing anything.
Let me tell you something right now. Whenever I log into Xbox, right, Adam, you're not joking about this, bro.
No,
you're just watching TV.
Yeah,
you know?
Right now, my wife's watching the KI Cup on the Xbox.
Right? Let me do that right now, actually.
Yeah, that's literally. We haven't turned it on in a while. That's what it's doing right now. It's running Twitch. Oh, I did a disservice to all the fans. I didn't mention Fallout.
Yeah, Fallout.
Fallout.
No, I
Fallout.
didn't.
I
Fallout
didn't.
1 and 2.
I didn't
Skyrim.
mention Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls, anything.
Skyrims.
Skyrim's Morrowind, all of that, all those and the older ones. Those were great games. Icewind Dale was like
shit.
Baldur's Gate.
Sorry, Chris. I gotta interrupt you.
Oh.
All right, so I got. All right, let. This is hilarious. So I have like over like, and I'm not trying to like be like I got over 90 friends on Xbox, and 10 of them are
this
online.
dude calls his, you can hear him unzipping his pants like, let me show you how big my dick is.
So 10 of them are online. So this is the activities. QL is one of them. Daniel, he's playing Dishonored too. So props to Daniel for playing something. The second person, TV. The third person, Netflix. The fourth person, home. The fifth person, Netflix. The sixth person, Overwatch. The seventh person, Netflix. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. Showtime Anytime. HBO Now. Oh, and I just saw Rami Death Xbox app.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Most people are consuming media like that are not video games.
Yeah, but it's the opposite when I check PlayStation.
I see you on there, son. The Xbox app. By the way, I got to give a little bit of a shout out to the dudes on my Xbox list. Most of these guys are playing games right now. Good on you guys. Like, there's a couple watching Twitch or whatever, but a lot. Let's run through this.
They're probably listening to the show right now. They're like, "Oh shit, I better turn that shit on."
Turn that shit on. Real quick. Right. My man Anchorman, he's playing iDarb. I still. I blocked this dude on Twitter. I forgot. I still have him on Xbox. Fucking Tim Dog.
Oh.
He has Matt. He's playing Madden. Jonathan. He's always playing Smite. Quell, Dishonored. This other dude, Civilization. Most of these guys are playing games. Good on you guys. Good on you.
Play them games.
Play games, motherfucker. All right. Anyway.
So yeah, I don't think I mentioned. I don't mention.
Yeah,
I didn't. The one thing is like with Tony, I didn't actually play a lot of the Western RPGs, but one of my all-time favorites actually is, and this is probably Adam's as well, Shadowrun on PlayStation.
Remember that?
The Super Nintendo. That was probably like the best one I played.
Oh man, that was shit. I remember. We rented that.
Yeah, we kept renting that one.
We kept renting it. We kept trying to keep it. And they were like, there's a list. This is back for those younger people. It's like when you went to the store and you rented something. Not even like Blockbuster. Blockbuster just keep charging you. No. Mm-hmm. Mom and pop shops will call your ass up. Tell you, you need to come back and bring that because we got people waiting. We're like, damn. Because we kept renting it. And they were like, no, you can't keep renting it. I was like, no, but we thought we were so close to the end of that.
Yeah.
Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. And then there was also, I mean, you didn't like Syndicate that much. The original Syndicate.
Was right. I had that for 3DO.
Yeah,
3DO. I had that. It was cool. You mind control people and you send them into like rooms and stuff and have them kill everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I'll definitely say Mass Effect was one of my favorite. Again, I didn't have a PC, so I didn't play a lot of the things. I mean, probably one of the first PC games that I'd ever played. When I finally got one was the game Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, again, since my experience is mostly on consoles, Mass Effect, right? All those games, Dragon Age, and even though they have a lot of fucking bugs, Fallout 3 and 4. 4 not so much, but 3 was definitely. But those games were fun. Man, that's pretty much the extent of my Western RPG experience.
How long did it take for you to platinum that Fallout 4? Because I swear I felt like you had it one day and then like a week later I saw it and you platinumed it. I'm like,
it took me about 2 weeks. Yeah.
Why is this? It seems like it's a forever game, but how did you fly through it?
Who says I flew through it, man?
He didn't fly through it.
I put in like 8 hours a day on that shit.
No, the thing is that you were also using, once you beat the game, you did use your little the platinum trail, right? For that one?
The platinum trail was that?
Usually like they tell you what things to do and what order.
Because I kind of had a feeling. I'm like, okay, let me stop right now. Because I know this game has multiple endings, and I figured out, I'm like, okay, when I get to this point, make multiple saves, right? And then I branched off from that. But it took me a long time. It took me 2 weeks, and I was playing like 6-8 hours a day. I went in because there was no other games out at that point, and that was also the point where I had just started writing for Geek and PC Mag. They only wanted one story a day each, so I popped in my 2 stories. I was free for the rest of the day, so I just put in time, son. So yeah, Adam, it was a long fucking platinum. Don't get that twisted, but I just it took me a while. But even with Fallout 3, again, I had nothing but time. 2 weeks, got that shit platinum.
It doesn't seem, but the thing is that again, like when you say it's like 2 weeks, but it sounds like a short amount of time, but you also people have to consider the amount of time that you're putting in per day.
Yeah,
and not a lot of people have like 8 hours a day.
No, they don't. Yeah,
these things.
Horizon 2 it took me 2 weeks, but I didn't put in that much time in that. I will admit that I put in maybe 40-50 hours into that, but I just didn't have enough time. If I had the time, I probably could have got that platinum in like 5 days.
For me, like I didn't have a lot. Like it took me over a month to beat Gravity Rush.
Yeah,
like to get everything.
Gravity Rush. So, I'm thinking Sugar Rush. My bad.
Adam, what about you, man? Favorite Western?
Favorite. I mean, there's a bunch of. It depends. It's like at an earlier part of my life, it was the Fallout series on PC. Yeah, those were great. I mean, I lived on them. I loved it. But then Mass Effect came, changed my life. I opened up the window. I looked out. I'm like, the world is beautiful. I'm telling you, Mass Effect, it was so awesome. People don't understand that it was a game changer. It really was a game changer.
By the way, I was laughing because Techno Fabulous goes, according to Twitter, Scorpio is going to be so powerful that it's going to be radioactive.
Well, it is glowing green, right?
Yeah, it's glowing. That's ooze right there, man. It's going to mutate your gaming experience. All right. But yeah, no, Mass Effect was the shit, man. All right, Carlos, what about you? I keep wanting to say computer games, but yeah, Western RPGs.
So, just to keep on the splurging.
What was that?
Wait, hold on. Wait.
What the hell? It's a shit landing. Damn right. I recognize it.
Yeah.
And 7 has a rock. And 7.
My favorite pastime.
Yeah, by the way,
it was like eating, sleeping, and launching probes, man.
Yeah, by the way, thank you to EA who will not fly this.
Launching probes, that's what she said.
Nintendo, man.
Launching probe.
All right, Carlos, computer
games. You make babies.
So, yeah, just to keep on Mass Effect. So Mass Effect 2, like for those who don't know, Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game of all time. It's like, nothing comes close.
So good.
Like.
When it hits the lips, it's so good.
I can't get out of it, man. It's too.
I think if Mass Effect, if the new one had at least maybe an expansive kind of co-op mode where we could all play together, that would be so.
See, that's what I would thought. But that's what I thought. What Mass Effect 3 was going to allow you to do.
Well, in multiplayer, you can. Yeah,
like do like a multiplayer within the storyline. That would have been awesome. Like if our shepherds could team up.
Well, you don't need. I'll make you be Liara. You know
what's funny, Manny? Manny and I, we have a cousin Daniel, and he loves also Mass Effect. But every time he plays, he goes for the dark side. And every time I look at his character, it's all like, because remember your face and everything would change.
With the renegade.
I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? He's like, I don't know. Every time I pick an option, I just pick the worst option.
Yeah, he always picks the asshole option.
Kill him, asshole.
Yeah, so so I'm guessing his shepherd. I don't remember seeing his shepherd. I'm sure his shepherd had like the glowing eyes.
Glowing eyes. Cracks in his face. Looked horrible. People always whispering, talking bad about him.
The renegade. The funny thing is, the renegade option is not like that evil. It's just like that. It's like hard ass.
You're a hard ass, yeah.
Hard ass, yeah.
It's like if it was really evil, you'd be like, yeah, man, I'm taking over the galaxy myself.
I'm proud of myself because I've kept away from everything. It's like every time I see 20 minutes of gameplay, no, not for me. Look, some news.
Andromeda, I'm not. I don't want to know any shit. I don't know shit about that game. All I know is it has ugly looking women. That's all I know about that game.
I know you get a pet.
How do you know that? How do you know that they won't get it?
That's it. I just know you get a pet. Something about
you get a pet in the other one.
I don't remember having a pet.
Yeah, you get a
ship in the ship. But I thought it was something like, don't you run around in the world with something?
You get that big dog thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, you
The one
get
that
something
follows you around.
I didn't remember the aquarium in the Normandy. I'm like, there are my fish. I feed my fish.
Yeah.
No,
Man, he's my alien fish,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Anyway,
all kinds of shit in my room there.
all right. Last game, so we got to move on, man.
Yeah.
We still got shit to answer.
In fact,
Right.
I think I need to pre.
Yeah,
All right,
so
go ahead. Yeah.
other than Mass Effect, Fallout, KOTOR, not two,
KOTOR. He said
Um,
KOTOR. In that
the
game.
all the Elder Scrolls games, like for the most part, and yeah,
Awesome. All right. And the last question here is, in terms of Western RPGs, where does Horizon sit as an overall package? Very interesting, because to me,
Is that an RPG?
Guerrilla is calling it an RPG, but to me, that's not an RPG, man.
Yeah.
It has a lot of RPG isms. You
Elements.
level up, you gotta
RPG
go.
elements.
You know, it has the elements of RPGs, but that's not an RPG to me, man.
Yeah,
I'm
me
sorry.
neither.
Well, for them it is. It's
Yeah,
like,
it is
this
to
is
them,
them dipping our
listen,
toe.
hey, they're
This is what
like,
our
you know,
version looks like.
It's just like, I'll stop right now. I was about to say something that's going to get me in trouble. But if they claim to be that, you have to accept that.
Oh God.
Manny, you already know, man. So it's to me, it's not an RPG. It is an RPG, but it isn't an RPG. It's a game.
It has RPG. It's weird because like there's a lot of games that are just like that do the same sorts of things. You gain levels and you buy new things within with cash.
You craft all that shit. You put mods on.
It's kind of like a big amalgam of a bunch of different game and things.
Yeah,
man, it's a buffet, man.
Yeah, but it's weird because like there's games that have those elements that are not RPGs at all. Dead Space 3 had crafting and you get new gear and stuff. Last of Us, they're not RPGs. So I never thought of Horizon as an RPG. I think of it as a heavy action adventure game. World action adventure with those elements in it.
Yeah, because you level up and you got to put skill points into shit like an RPG, but at the same time, leveling up doesn't make you more powerful like an RPG does either.
Yeah. I mean, even freaking Call of Duty has skill trees, right?
Yeah,
like
true,
that, but it's not. Hey, no RPG.
Yeah. I can just imagine those Call of Duty guys. Look, I'm playing an RPG.
Yeah, no, you're shooting an RPG. There's a difference.
Ma, I'm playing an RPG. I just leveled up. I'm playing Call of Duty.
I like the fact that you did the
Call of Duty. That's the Call of Duty fan. Oh, I'm gonna get so much hate. All right, moving on here. Phantom Vash, and this dude needs to be grateful as a motherfucker to me because we had so many questions this week. But I'm like, all right, Phantom, I got you, son. I removed a couple of them just so we could fit these in because these are very, very good questions. All right, here we go. What are your thoughts on Zelda Zealots DDoS attacking Jim Sterling's site for giving Zelda a score of 7 out of 10 and helping to drop Zelda's amazing Metacritic score of 98 to a still amazing 97?
Oh, these guys are nuts.
So before we go on, Jim Sterling, you all know him, big fat British loudmouth guy. He gave Legend of Zelda a 7 out of 10 in a very satirical video, right? The video is I don't like Jim Sterling. The video is fucking hilarious, right? He gave it a 7 out of 10. Motherfuckers, not only did they DDoS his site, but they were threatening him. Death threats, crazy shit. And because of that review, the Metacritic did drop a point. Motherfuckers are after Jim Sterling now. This goes back to what we were talking about before. These people, they put all their self-worth into a review score. So when somebody says this game that you like is a 7 out of 10, it's saying you are a 7 out of 10.
It's weird how they take these things personally. It's like it's just this guy's review or opinion of the game. It doesn't if you enjoy the game, it doesn't matter what these fuckers are saying.
Exactly. But again, they take it as a personal insult because they've invested so much of their self-worth into a video game. We talked about this earlier in the show. So much of their self-worth, self-esteem into a video game that it's no longer just somebody else's opinion. It's an attack on them personally. And that's why we see like that. And to be fair, we saw the same shit with No Man's Sky. These Sony assholes did the same shit, death threats. They were death threatening fucking Sean Murray because he delayed the game. I'm like, so you want to kill the guy who's making the game?
Yeah,
how does that work? You're never going to get the game if you kill the guy who's making the game.
seriously, guys, it's like you don't need to let it be that. I mean, you have like it, like I remember, like I think about like when we were younger, right? We get the EGM and we saw that the game got a bad rating, but we still like the game still kind of looked cool, and you picked it up anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Like that's cool. I still like the game.
I still like the game. I mean, there are plenty of games that I'm sure everybody in this panel likes that are just not like the greatest things. Like friggin' was it Brian? Was it Something of Amalur? What's that one?
Brian is
Of Amalur,
yeah.
Yeah,
Brian is like the poster child of a guy who likes games that reviewers. Okay, Brian is the poster child for guy who likes games that reviewers hate.
Yeah.
But so, see him getting all twisted? He doesn't give a fuck.
No, he doesn't. He's enjoying his fucking games. He's not worried about how, what fucking score he got. He already made the decision as to like, okay, this looks like something I might like. Yeah. The thing is that, one thing about reviews is that even a negative review, and me and Tony have said this before, even a negative review can end up saying things that you like. It's like, oh, well, like one reviewer was like, well, it does these things that are just like this other game. Well, that kind of sounds kind of cool. Maybe I want to try that. And
on the flip side, you could read a positive review that'll make you stay away from the game.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like when I read a Call of Duty review, hey, first person military shooter, no thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's nuts. Like the Zelda thing with Zelda especially has gotten out of control because there were guys going on Metacritic, right? There were two camps of people adjusting the user score, literally downvoting and upvoting the game. People were downvoting it, going like, this got a perfect score. I didn't play it, but it shouldn't be a 10 out of 10. I'm giving it a 0. And then another guy would come in and go, no, Zelda's the greatest thing ever, 10 out of 10. I'm like, this is not what reviews are for.
This is why no one takes user reviews seriously, because you guys are all fucking idiots.
I never take
that before. Gamers are fucking dumb. Not the listeners of Throwdown, obviously, but gamers are dumb as shit.
It's funny. Like I always, this is not has nothing to do with anything, but like how like on the PlayStation Store you can give games stars.
Yeah,
but it's funny. Like most of the games have like 3 or 4 stars, even bad ones.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody likes it,
and this is an issue. Like you guys have to understand, like Jim Sterling has his opinion. The review is his opinion. It's his subjective opinion, how he feels about the game after playing it. Now you guys got to understand, just because you don't like what he has to say doesn't mean his review needs to not exist. His review needs to exist so you have like a diverse pool of people talking about the game and mentioning all the stuff. Like it works to your confirmation bias that IGN and everyone overlooked all the technical issues and gave the game a perfect score.
Yeah.
He didn't do that. He scrutinized the shit out of it, which is what you should do as a journalist. And he gave it a lower score. Maybe it was harsh, but that doesn't mean because you don't like it that you can take it off the internet and yell and scream and throw a tantrum. That's fucking insane.
It's fucking stupid, Who gives a shit? This is why I'm like, just get rid of these review scores. I will save so much trouble, That's not going to happen.
I'll tell you one thing. It'll force people to read some shit.
Oh, force them to read? How is that possible?
It'll force them to read some shit. If nobody gave review scores, you'd have to go in there. But, even then, they'll probably just look at the headline,
Like we said this shit a million times, right? You want to form a really good opinion of a game that you don't know about? Go to 5 sites that you generally trust, read the reviews for the same game. You could form a pretty good opinion on it off of that and decide, hey, I want to buy this or I don't want to buy this. Simple as that. You don't even need to look at the fucking score, But yeah, Jim Sterling, again, it puts me in that weird position because I don't fucking like Jim Sterling. I think he's an asshole, but you can't be threatening this dude. Let him do what he's going to do. It's just a fucking score. Who cares? Hey, guess what? If I were to score Zelda right now, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Are you going to fucking kill me too? Oh, God, you. Let me hide that. Don't kill me. Fuck, man.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, number one, also at the same time, guys, you've already been sold on this game. Why do you need to have
That's
a score?
What I'm saying. You bought the game. You're enjoying it. What the fuck do you care what Sterling thinks?
Exactly. If because you got to remember, like even like sales can trump scores. The thing is that like not everybody tends to, obviously people use the review thing because of the price of video games, like they're $60 as opposed to like a $10 movie.
Yeah.
So obviously you want to know what you're kind of getting into, but at the same time, most of you Zelda fans out there, you've already made the decision. You just heard the word Zelda and you were like, "Oh fuck, I'm down."
And it's like he dropped the score by a point. It's not like he took the freaking Metascore down to like the 70s.
Yeah, he dropped it one fucking point.
He dropped it one point.
Yeah,
you guys are losing your minds.
And Metacritic doesn't assign like more, like certain people are more important than others on the score. Every single review adds to their little aggregate of, points.
I can just imagine somebody bought Zelda, right? Like, oh my God, 98 Metacritic, greatest game ever. Then they go today and it's like 97. They take the game and they throw it in the
garbage.
Well, beneath my standards.
Like, fuck, the game is trash now. 97? Fuck that.
If one review like brings that game down from an 87 to a 97, a 98 to 97, that means that the game was already closer to a 97 than to a 99.
Yeah,
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
These guys don't know math. They just hate. They just want to attack him. They're just like, you ruined our game. No, you have the game. Play the game. The game is
Play
fine.
your game.
You enjoyed it.
Play the game. Shut the fuck up.
Like-
When we on a site like that, fucking play.
Sure, we were on a site called "Shut the Fuck Up and Play."
You idiots are wasting. These guys are wasting so much energy, like going after Jim Sterling for knocking Zelda. They could be using that time to play Zelda. Come on, guys.
Oh man, get your your stag, your secret stag from the top of like friggin' your Sakurai Mountain and shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, don't make me come over there and beat the shit out of you, man. Stop being idiots.
I'm in a Satori Mountain. Sorry.
Satori. All right, let's move on. This is fucking idiots. Slap them. All right, this is a good question. I'm glad he asked us about this. I think we didn't tell anybody the current status of this shit. Okay, will there be a spoiler cast? This is how you know Fan Advantage has been around for ages. A spoiler alert. Will there be a spoiler?
Yeah, he calls it spoiler cast.
Yeah, that's how you know he's been around for years. He is one of our original fans. Will it be a spoiler alert for Logan, Kong, or Horizon Zero Dawn in the future? Okay, let's talk about spoiler alert. All right, because basically we've streamlined this, this whole operation pretty well because what you guys like is video game shit. Even video game spoilers are not doing too well anymore. So that's why we're not ending them officially, but we're just not doing it. It's not like, oh, Tammy, we killed that outright. But this, maybe if it's appropriate, we'll do it. But movie ones, we're not those. That's not going to happen. Even if we were doing them, Logan and King Kong are already a little too late. But yeah, spoiler alert is effectively, it's on hiatus. Let's just say that. Again, because you guys like the video game shit. We have many of our newer listeners, they like us because of the video game stuff and the fact that we only talk about games. So we got to cater that. And I'm just being personal right now because at the end of the day, I put the whole show together. I'm not interested in doing other shit. I just want to talk about video games, and spoilers always annoying to put together too. So I'm not trying to deal with that shit.
Spoiler alerts tend to be a little bit more difficult than actual throwdown shows because they happen kind of randomly throughout the month. As opposed to throwdowns, which it's like Thursday and then it's Sunday. Yeah. For spoiler alerts, it's like, okay, we get this weekend, we got to do this, and then getting everybody together for the weekend. Sometimes, there's been times when Tony hasn't had any of us on the show. Like, which he had to call up like two other guys from somewhere else.
I get whole like sub crew, so it was always annoying, so it was like, what, and then the time we did that Final Fantasy one, it was a great podcast, right? But it barely did anything. It's like, why did I go through all this shit, getting all these guys together, accommodating everybody's schedules, and it barely made a dent? It's like, it's not worth it. I got other shit to do.
Yeah, the thing is, like Tony, at this point in time, you're a lot more busier than you used to be. Like when we were just doing like STFU and Play, which is like, okay, you did whatever you did in the week, and then we did a couple of other podcasts. But it's like, again, it's just like wrangling cats to get everybody in at the same time, and some people you want to be on the show, you can't get them. It can be a hassle.
Yeah, exactly. Because obviously, again, Phantom Fashion is old school, right? That's when Throwdown used to be about everything. It was just obviously video games was always the focus, but it was like a buffet table of everything,
Yeah, it was literally, the Throwdown, and even the one that I hosted was a little bit more, spread out, where we would talk about video games as well as cool things that would happen in the media and stuff like that. But now it's just kind of been streamlined to a little more game stuff. But yeah, granted, we still obviously on the Throwdown Your Questions, we still do the whole, we'll talk about pop culture stuff, and sometimes on the Throwdown main show we'll talk about some pop culture-y things too.
Yeah, except for this week, obviously. Manny, we got so many questions this week. I took out all the pop culture questions.
You did?
Took out all, there's only 3 of them, but it's what you guys like. So it's like, let me just give you that. I know basically when this version of Throwdown started, it was like that: tech, video games, and pop culture, and it was kind of balanced, right? And then for E3, because of E3, it was nothing but video games, and then I noticed, oh shit, the ratings went up. So
we got a big
quietly. I didn't even tell you guys. It's like, I'm just gonna do nothing but games on the show for months, right?
And see if anybody says anything. That's what
nobody said shit, and it got better. But those few times where we focused mostly on pop culture stuff, people go, "Hey man, what's up with the video games?" So it's just I don't have the time for that anymore, man. Throwdown, it's stationary. I don't have to. We obviously have to do work, but it's already kind of automated, if you know what I mean, Yeah,
we know the date, we know the days and the times that we're going to be working with Throwdown, and obviously things like me that just happened today, where like I was coming back from a movie and it was a lot later than I expected, but for the most part, it's always the same time and the same days.
Yeah. So
I'll say this much: that like if there ever is a game that we would do a spoiler cast on, I think it would be Mass Effect.
Yeah, right. Well, apparently the coalition's going to do something, so we could just jump in on that. I was also thinking about that. It's like, hey, any of that other side stuff, you just do it on a coalition channel,
because they do that too.
Yeah, they're going to do a Mass Effect thing. So I know, most of us Mass Effect guys here are probably going to jump in on that if we can,
I would think that's a better idea to go with, where it's like, rather than kind of doing, the coalition and us doing specific things. It's like, oh, why not just jump onto the coalition stuff?
Yeah, so we maybe we'll do spoiler alert there. Who knows? But Throwdown is mainly this and Tony's Take. And what's Tony's Take? It's just essentially little versions of Throwdown, opinion shit, and that's what you guys like. So there you go. But I'm glad he asked that, because we never officially said what was going on with spoiler alert. Like Otanime, somebody asked us about this, so we talked about it. We never was spoiler alert. But that lets you know that people aren't that interested, because it took this long for somebody to ask, All right. And the last question here. Okay. Kojima has yet to reveal the lead female character in Death Stranding. Based on his past works and his tweets over the last year, what actress do you predict will be playing the part? This is an interesting question, because when I first read it, I'm like, why would he choose like a famous actress? Like, he picked a bunch of randoms. Then I remember, oh wait, Death Stranding, he's picking a bunch of heavies.
He's got a bunch of heavies.
Okay, man, so, I want to specifically, what is he talking? He says, based off his tweets, has he been giving hints or something?
Yeah, well, there's some things that he did like a few, maybe a month ago. He had said that they were doing motion, they were showing motion capture things, and they were showing somebody that looked like a lady actress in the background, doing some sort of motion capture stuff for him. So from what I'm thinking is that a lot of the rumors is that he wants to get Emma Stone to be in the game, because he's kind of enamored. He's kind of enamored with her from the La La Land movie. There's also a rumor that he's going to have Stephanie Houston in it again.
Okay.
For
you guys who don't know,
that's quiet. There's one of the podcasts he does. Like, he has this little video podcast he did. There's one point he puts on the Stephanie Houston hat for some odd reason. Just puts it on for no reason. So I don't know. So it's maybe between those two, Emma Stone and Stephanie Houston, or maybe even both of them.
Interesting. I don't really have any input on this.
I really, I think I've said this before on my Twitter, but I'm not really too keen on having all these stupid famous people in a game, because I feel like it's like, okay, it's Emma Stone, okay, it's Mads Mikkelsen. I don't. You know what I mean? It doesn't really do anything to me. to me, the great thing about video games is you can create a character that doesn't exist, and for you to just kind of go out and say, hey, just take famous actors, that doesn't sell a game to me.
Yeah, no,
You know what
but
I mean?
Death Stranding is going to have a famous female. You know that it's already. I got Mads Mikkelsen and
oh yeah, they
what's
already
his face?
they got Matt Mikkelsen and friggin' Daryl.
Yeah,
you know?
Norman Reedus. Yeah,
Norman Reedus. They have those guys. So it's like, okay, so obviously they're going to get there. The only one thing I can say, the reason why you could use what's good about using famous people though is that it instantly gets attention, especially if you get somebody like some of those guys that are pretty hot right now, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And it looks like them. So it's like, that's what in the way it's a kind of a way of doing extra promotion for something. If Snake looked like what's his face, Jack Bauer, right? I think it would have probably made a little bit more waves rather than him just doing the voice.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
But,
by the way,
I also think the reason why he's doing it is because you don't really need to do that much development on having to make new, unique looking characters. It's like, okay, I want a character that looks a little like Emma Stone. All right, we got Emma Stone. All right, good.
It's simple as that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to make the character look like her, just get her.
Yeah, just get her. Kind of like what they did with Ellie, where Ellie used to look like what's her face, from Beyond Two Souls.
Ellen Page.
Yeah, she looked like the first version of her looked like Ellen Page, so they wanted a character that looked somewhat similar to her.
Yeah, and then Ellen Page complained, I guess.
Ellen Page complains like, "I'm already in the game.
I'm already in a Sony game." It's hilarious. All right, anybody else want to jump in on that? I don't really have any input on this.
My guess is the next trailer is going to be the next is going to be an introduction to the new character, the female character or whatever in the game.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be a star for sure.
I think it's going to be a star too.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, just something I saw on Twitter. I think I could be wrong about this, but our friends over at the Web Wheel podcast, people were complaining to them because they were talking about Zelda and they were talking about the Master Sword. Like, oh, that's a spoiler. No, it isn't. The Master Sword in a Zelda
has
game.
A Master Sword.
Shut the fuck up. You guys are idiots.
Man.
Look at the the trailers have the Master Sword, and if you're playing the game, all those flashbacks with Link, guess what he's holding? The Master Sword. And guess what characters keep asking him? Hey, where's that big sword you have on your back? Where is it? Come on, that's not a spoiler. You're fucking stupid.
Or the other thing, what was it? And then when you buy the super special edition, it comes with the Master Sword stabbed into like a
freaking rock.
Stone.
Yeah.
So what you to say? What are you thinking? It wasn't in there? It's in every fucking game.
Yeah, that special edition. That special edition spoiler.
It's a spoiler.
Oh, by the way, Zelda's
Zelda's in it too, motherfuckers.
The biggest spoiler is the name of the fucking game. Oh yeah, Zelda's in the game.
Yeah. I swear, but these guys are like that now. Everything's a spoiler now,
No, these guys are just idiots. That's like you said. That's fucking stupid.
Some things are just known, guys. They're not fucking spoilers. Guess what? Solid Snake has a headband. Holy shit, mind blown.
Yeah.
Yo, Mass Effect happens in space. Spoilers.
Yeah,
spoilers. you have N7 gear on. That's a fucking spoiler.
What?
Spoiler. It takes place in space. Spoiler. Come on, guys.
If you said something specific, like if it's like, okay, the Geth are in the game, like spoiler. Okay, now that's a spoiler.
No, but I get shit like that all the time. Like when I beat Horizon, I'm like, dude, Horizon was awesome. That ending was amazing. Spoiler. I'm like, what? What the fuck did I just say? You said it was good. You said it was a good ending.
That wasn't a fucking spoiler. If spoiler would have been like, you fucking saved the blah blah blah, and then you got the blah 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 in the blah blah blah.
Like, yo, man, Aloy got pregnant, son. A machine fucked her. That would be a spoiler.
There's a really big revelation about Aloy.
Yeah, fucking idiots, man. But
At
me
least
saying
Tony
it's
didn't
a
say
good,
that shit.
yeah, it's a good ending. Come on, guys, the fuck out of here. Too sensitive, man. Everybody's too
Or when
sensitive.
you're showing off the little secret collectibles and they're like spoiler.
Yeah, they got that like spoiler. I'm like, really? The fucking Kojima logo is a spoiler? You guys are being fucking stupid. That actually happened, by the way. I'm like, hey, look, they got a Kojima thing in here. I was like, actually, as a matter of fact, I went, hey, remember that thing that site was talking about yesterday? I just saw it myself. Spoiler. It's a fucking item. I'm not showing
It's
you
an
even
item. It's in the game.
Oh my god.
It's an item in the fucking drop down menu. Oh my
Spoiler,
god.
tomorrow is Monday.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's
Daylight
Throwdown
saving times
episode
happen.
20.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. Come over here and slap the shit out of all of you, man. And dumb. All right. Last thing here, just a couple shout outs. We didn't do this at the top of the show because I was like, yo, we got to get through this shit fast, but we did pretty damn good, you know.
Okay.
All right. So shout out to my man Andre Tipton, Erica, and Kofi for being on the last episode. Kofi will try to be on Throwdown again because his internet connection was all fucked up, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, good talk from those people, good shit. I forgot the episode. I think it was 198. Co-op 198. Me and Carlos were in it, holding it down. We were actually half the cast. It was just me, him, Gary, and Richard. We were talking about a lot of shit. That was a good episode. I wasn't expecting that. It was a really good episode. I talked like a bunch of shit at the end about fanboys. I just went off. I had all this shit in my chest. I just let it out.
I've never been on that show, man. One of these days I gotta go in.
Yo, you know what? Episode 200 is coming in 2 weeks, man. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. Sounds like a date.
Yes. So listen to the episode. Really good shit. Some fuckery happened with Google Hangouts, so I'm guessing Gary has to edit them together. Man, you know that shit. Like the show just stopped because what happened is Gary's connection got lost. Right? Gary was the host. You know what happened next?
But usually when you get cut out, like whenever you get cut out, Tony, like this, you could just jump right back in because it just goes to the next person.
No, it doesn't work like that.
Unless they changed it.
They changed it. It doesn't work like that anymore.
So like now, if the host person is down, it doesn't just go to the next person.
Nope. It just that's it.
That's weird.
It's over. Also, we're gonna start our contest for that book, which I don't have with me, the Super Mario book. On episode 125. I guess that's kind of a anniversary. No, that's
a spoiler.
It's a kind of anniversary episode, the 25th and shit. So yeah, we're gonna probably do the same thing we did last time. We're gonna give you a question about, actually, should we do questions or a screenshot? What should we do? Maybe we'll figure it out. Something Nintendo related.
We're just gonna have to do a screenshot because we can't do like last time, play any music because again, maybe Nintendo might fucking flag us.
Yeah, because you're right. Because if we ask a question, someone's gonna Google it. Oh, nah. Well, we had some Nintendo shit last time when we got away with it, didn't we?
We got. You know what it was? It wasn't a Nintendo game.
Yeah, didn't we play like Aladdin music and?
Yeah, but that was from Genesis.
Yeah,
when we did the Nintendo shit. Okay, so that's what we'll do. We'll do a Nintendo game, but a third-party Nintendo game.
as long as it's not a Nintendo game, but we're not playing like freaking Zelda music or anything like that.
Yeah, fucking bullshit.
Spoiler.
Yeah, but man, the soundtrack to fucking Metroid, Super Metroid's so awesome.
Man, somebody would get that shit.
Yeah, we get that shit right away.
I forgot what questions we asked for Nintendo, but I know they got them right away. They got those motherfuckers right away, All right, so let's finish this shit up. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the comment section of this episode on YouTube or on the Coalition so we can answer them on next week's show. Make sure to subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Throwdown Show. Links are available in the description below. Once again, our show's Tony Polanco. Tonight is joined by Emilio Lopez.
I'll see you later, guys. Sorry I was late.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Logan was great. Go watch it.
Then go see Moonlight,
Logan
right,
Carlos?
Go watch Moonlight 2, man.
And Adam Vale.
People think about this. What if Titanfall and Mass Effect merged?
Oh,
There you go.
Massive fall.
Yeah, I
There you
got an even better one. Ed.
Crossover.
Massive. Hold on. And I'm all fucked up.
Think about it. It could happen. They're both on the EA
Mass
swing.
Fall, I don't know.
Titanfall
And then
Mass Effect.
mix in Dead Space. Well, we're at it.
Oh, that would be the old. See, remember when they used to do crossovers? I think it's only Nintendo that does it with Sonic and stuff. Remember?
Yeah, EA
Well-
All Stars. Let's go.
Here you go. In Mass Effect, you can watch Lucha Underground.
Oh, there we go.
You will never turn the game off.
That would be great.
Yeah, and go play Nier Automata.
Oh yeah, by the way, Tony, don't forget to flip that thing inside out. It's got a nice cover on the
Hey,
inside.
you know, wait, does Horizon have one? Yes, it does. I should flip this one too as a night. Holy shit! Look at that.
They have
Very
like really
nice.
nice covers inside.
I like. All right, people. We'll see you
Nice
next time. Later.
illustrated covers.
Peace.
Later, guys.
Yes.